Good evening, everyone. Hope we are going well. Tell you what, it feels good not to have to stress tonight. Got no one from this game. I'm not trading in anyone from this game, so it's actually really, really good. Let's have a look. Has anyone got any questions? Because I'm just updating. I forgot to update the Content Creators Cup, sort of like what happened this week. So give me like 2 seconds. I just need to post the results because I forgot to, and I want to make sure I get it done before the round starts. But yeah, hope we're all going well. It's looking forward to hopefully a bounce back week. That would be really handy. That's what I'm hoping for anyway. Obviously, tough week last week with the bad one, but hopefully we can respond and have a good week. MJ's up to second overall in the Content Creators Cup, which is really good on his part. You got Louis up top. Lemon is third. DC is fourth, so he went up a spot. What do we got? Holmesy is now fifth, so he went up one spot as well. Jeppa is sixth, so he went up 2 spots. Sanch is 7, so Sanch went down 1. And then Luke is 8, and Luke was 4, so he went down 4 spots. Well, okay. And there we go. Cool. Now I just got to put in the tags. MJ. Apologies for this, guys. Just had to do this. It's been a busy day getting everything sorted. Had to record the captain's video like 3 times because of some changes to the list, and then obviously hearing about Sheetal moving back into defence potential, or moving back into the mid forward role, which isn't great. But yeah, oh well, we got it done anyway. So DC4, who was 5th, Holmesy, and he's 6 and 3. So annoying having to do this considering that I'm the bottom team, but we do it anyway. Hopefully you can get a few wins on the board. 6 and 3. Sanch is 7th, and he's 5 and 4, which means Luke is 5 and 4 as well. So I'm only a couple of wins off 8. If we can just somehow get some wins, might be able to get back into it potentially. We'll have to see. And cool, that's posted. Alrighty, we're all set, ready to go. Red Lighting, hey, since TDK's out, do I just go to Ryan Marshall if I already have X and just take the 400k over next week? Yeah, that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing in Ryan Marshall. That's the plan. In your spot, you got so much cash that there is a world where you could look at someone like a Tim English because he's been going so well. But because you got Cherry, I'd just be going for Ryan Marshall. Max Gorn's too expensive, so I wouldn't look at him. So I would just be going for the best one, which is Marshall in that case, and then moving to the next one. So that's what I'll be doing. Jack Vincent, Gold Coast love the North, also love the North. Northern Territory should have an AFL team for sure. If TDK's out, then I'm pretty sure Voss has his team set to beat the Swans this time. Yeah, so Jack, well, obviously it's always good to see the game up in Northern Territory. It's good in Sir Doug Nicholls' round that Darwin get the first game. Yes, I probably think Northern Territory probably should have an AFL team. We just, yeah, whether they get one or not is obviously another thing. But it'd be good to have every single state having one, which if they got one, that would complete pretty much everyone. Because obviously Tassie are getting one, but I guess we'll find out. And yeah, TDK out's obviously poor, but I guess we'll see how they go tomorrow night, Carlton. Ben Hayes, hey Bales, only have Amon in this game. He was on 75 last week, but Hawks had the ball in their forward 50 the whole last quarter. Yeah, exactly. I think Amon's a guy that's a bit cheaper that could be someone to watch because he's around 15 by defender, which I've got none, so I wouldn't be opposed to targeting someone like him. He's someone I've got my eye on. Harley Reid, De Cunning and Lindsay to Marshall and Marrick or Peatling, or TDK and Foster, Gorn and El Hawley, looping El Hawley and Lindsay. I definitely prefer the first one. I'd be going to Marshall, and then I would be going to Peatling. I think Marrick's too late. I think he's over 700k now. I think Peatling can keep this up. So I'd be going to Koning and Lindsay to Marshall and Peatling Harley. That's what I'll be doing there. Ben Hayes, thoughts on these trades? Option 1, TDK to X and Lindsay to El Hawley. TDK to X, Lindsay El Hawley. Yeah, yep. On field, I don't love that. TDK to Roe Marshall and Lindsay to Filippo, playing Filippo at M8. I prefer X, but I like the second option better. Ben, I'd prefer to hold Lindsay for a week, keep Lindsay at M8, and I'd go TDK to X and then go a rookie down to El Hawley if you can, or Cooper Simpson. That's what I'd be doing. Fast break frenzy, bring in Marshall or Jackson. Definitely Marshall for me. Fast break. If what's his name is going to be out for a while, Jackson. If Darcy was going to be out for a while, I would say Jackson potentially. But the fact that Darcy could be back as early as next week, you're just not going there. So for me, I would be going for Marshall. Definitely, I'm bringing in Marshall this week, so I hope that he goes well. So, but yeah, tuning in live, we've got nearly 50 already. So, firstly, appreciate everyone tuning in with a not as fancy relevant game, but make sure you smash like on the video. Obviously, we're trying to get 100. The streak is kept alive last week by the legends at the end, and obviously whoever liked it. So if you can smash a like. See if we can get maybe 15 before the game even starts. That'd be pretty good. John Sanders, who would you bring in for Oliver? Or are we keeping now? I've got 891k if I do spend on any position in TDK to Marshall, some other trade. Well, firstly, I love TDK to Marshall. My trades, John, I'm doing TDK to Marshall, and I'm going to Max Holmes. Obviously, you've only got 891. So, in that case, if you've got Oliver, Peatling's an option to then just bank a tiny bit of cash there. If you've got 891, I wouldn't go Sarong this week. Bailey Dale is an option at 882, just around 12 buys. What might be the concern there? Heaney and Warner are still options. They've still got a good run if you're keen to go for them. I would say aim on after this week. I would probably go Peatling and save a bit of money, personally. That's what I'd be doing, John. Save yourself nearly 100k and take that to next week. Jack Vincent, look at that Gold Coast coach thing. He'll win. The Hawks will bring it tonight. I've gone Gold Coast just because they've got such a good record up there, and Hawthorn have rested a few. So that's why I've actually gone for Gold Coast. But, yeah, it's a good game. Should be a good game tonight. For looping, say Shorty's out. Can I have 2 emergencies in defence? And would both of them come on to cover Bustlinger and Short, or only one? If you've got 2 emergencies and you've only got 1 Red Dawn field, you'd get the lowest score of the 2. So, but if you've got 2 emergencies and Short doesn't play, and you've got Bustling on field, they'd cover both. But if you're doing that, just put Bustling on the bench, put someone emergency, and if you need them to cover Short, then just do that. I wouldn't muck around too much, I don't think. Max Hansen, I'm 5k off. I'm 5k short of TDK to Marshall and Oliver to Martin. Oh, hello. That's just gone in. Where were we? Well, now the chat's just gone weird. There you go, Max Hansen. 5k short, TDK to Marshall and Oliver to Martin. Does Oliver to Holmes get a tick? Yep, Max gets a tick from me. They're the exact same trades I'm doing, mate. I wish I could do TDK to Marshall and Oliver to Martin. I'm about 50k short. So I'm slightly annoyed that I can't quite get there. Again, if I didn't get Dacos last week, I would have been able to, but it is what it is. Yeah, they're the trades I'm doing, mate. So tick for Holmes. Good buy as well. He's got a good buy round. I don't expect him to be maybe a great score this week because it's against Port Adelaide, but I do expect round 16 buy and moving forward. He's got a pretty good run after this week. So we're about to get underway from Darwin. Good game, this one. Looking forward to seeing who gets the job done. Johnny says, hey, Bales, Lindsay for which one, Bergman or Filippo? If it doesn't matter for buys, I'd actually prefer Filippo I'd prefer Bergman this week and then go and get Filippo the week after and watch him for a week because Bergman has been training with the mids again apparently during the week, so I do expect him to play that role. But yeah, it's something to consider. I think both could be options at some point. If round 12 isn't an issue, go for Bergman. If round 12 is an issue, then go Filippo. So yeah, that's where I'd go there, Johnny. I'm looking at Bergman next week. If he goes well again and plays midfield, he will come in next week for me, either from a rookie or like a Caleb Daniel down. Angus Heasley's TDK to English an option, has really good matchups in next 6 compared to Marshall as Witts and Gawn. Yeah, I like English, yep. Particularly if you've got Gawn, maybe you go different. But I think Cherry is the guy I want. English is a good alternative, but he's at a price point where he's not really value, whereas the other guys are a little bit more value. So here's Noah. Noah Anderson's definitely one I'm watching tonight. Noah Anderson, Dylan Moore are 2. Carl Amon as well. They're probably the 3 that I'm watching closely because I might bring them in at some point. Flanders as well, but I just don't really know what Flanders is really doing at the moment. I don't know what his role exactly is. It's more of a forward role. So they're probably the 4 I'm watching to see what they do and maybe target them from next week onwards. Like Noah Anderson's at a pretty good price that if he has a good score this week and is the option, I might even bring him in as early as next week because he is pretty cheap in the 900s. And I think he can definitely go better. Brisbane Bloods, hey Bales, thoughts on trading TDK to Briggs, price at 670. Risky, but he has a good run coming up. Will let me get Hayes to Sheldrick? Probably not. I'd love to say Briggs is an option, but he just has not shown anything at all, and I just couldn't recommend him. He's got the perfect buy, around 16. So if you want to take a punt, or you're maybe down the ranks a bit and you want to take a punt, maybe he's a play. Like, I half considered, could I go Briggs in the ruck over Marshall and then maybe get a rookie up? But I've got to trade Oliver anyway. And I just think Marshall's underpriced. He's at a good price. So if you don't have Marshall, Brisbane Bloods, that's what I'd be doing. So, like Hayes to Sheldrick's not bad, but Sheldrick could just be sub from next week onwards. He probably won't be this week because he's named on field, but I don't think I'd be comfortable trading in Sheldrick. I don't think. Jim 910, Sard or Hardiman to buy and field. If you're fielding, it's definitely Hardiman. He's got the Richmond matchup this week, and I think he's all right. If Sheasel is playing more mid-forward, I think Hardiman will get more of a role in defence. So just be interesting to see what happens with that. But Hardiman's my number 1 rookie this week. If you can afford him, and the round 12 buy isn't a big issue. If it is Pro, Sardell Hawley's next, but I'm actually quite worried looking at that bench that Sardell Hawley's going to be the sub. The only reason Shield was sub last week was because they were easing him back after being managed, so a bit of management there. Cooper Simpson's also good, but I think maybe Simpson might even be ahead of Sardell Hawley now, just with the risk of being sub, and Cooper Simpson is on the bench and could also be sub, but I've got more confidence that he won't be, because I think you got Erasmus and Banfield on the bench, which I think will be subs over Cooper Simpson. So I'd be ordering that. But Hardiman for sure is the rookie pick of the week, and I wish I went Carroll, and I wish I went Hardiman instead of Carroll, or got Boxall his first week and then brought in Hardiman last week instead of Boxall. So here's Dylan Moore lining up for the first goal of the game. Max Bosm, let's go. How we doing? The TDK had plans to get 2 rooks off field this week, not to be, says Max. Well, Max, hope you're going well as well. We're going all right. Hopefully a better week this week. That's what we're hoping for. And hopefully, we can have a bounce back. Because I know, Max, I think you had I don't know, I can't remember if Max, you messaged me if you had a bad week last week or a good week. But if you had a bad week, hopefully you can bounce back. And if you had a good week, hopefully you can keep it going. Hopefully I can. Castle Richard says go Hawks. Jack says Gold Coast are duds. We'll see. We'll see. Gold Coast played well this year. Juice Bergman listed at the back line. Does that mean he's back to his normal role? Oh, potentially. I want to see it one more week. But we've seen guys like Sheasel be named at half forward and then they play half back, right? So Sheasel's actually named on the ball in this game. So that's going to be interesting to see where Sheasel's role is. But yeah, I think Bergman play midfield this week. That's what I'm thinking anyway. As Rioli gets a kick out wide there. So anyone's got Rioli, he's just getting a couple of touches here. This will be another one for Rioli. Would have been really nice if Gold Coast made Rioli their number 1 distributor. Would have been a solid option for us. Seems like Noble's like the number one guy coming out of defence. And it's really weird they've named Witts and Moyle. I wonder if Witts gets rested next week. That'd be interesting to see. If he does, that'd be good for Marshall, guys jumping on Marshall, because you've got Witts is rested, Marshall will be up against Ned Moyle. So I'm hoping that's the case. So I'm actually glad Witts is playing, so I'm hoping he gets rested next week, but I guess we'll find out. DJ, I've got the Sicily roller coaster. Solly Stalwarts, Bales, what trades you doing this week? So I am going Clayton Oliver to Max Holmes because I need a defender after trading short and keeping Daniel last week. It means I've got Carroll / a few other guys. Carroll / Buslinger / Foss at D6, which is fine. I just knew I had to bring in defender this week. So I'll be going for Max Holmes. I could get Sinclair or Josh Dacos. I just like the round 16 buy for Max Holmes. I've got not a lot of people on that buy, so I'm trying to plan. If I'm any chance of getting back up to a decent rank, I need to really have a good buy period and good couple of weeks. Exceptions. Hey, mate, haven't caught the Patreon pod, but I decided to just go Marshall and cop the Witts and Max scores with Marshall. Yep, yeah, exceptions. I like it, mate. I like it. That's what I'm doing this week as well. Corey Blackledge, I still couldn't believe I scored second in the Patreon Cup last week, 22.09, as how you said to me, take NAS 108. I wanted BAILSDT after the news of Bedford out. Well, congrats, Corey, for that. I don't know if I said definitely take it. I said I would probably take it myself. But it was probably one where it's like, it depends who you have. And if you're confident with someone, then go for it. And you're confident with Baz, and he went well. So congrats for the big captain there, Corey. And congrats on second for the week in the Patreon Cup last week. Moonboy, g'day all. G'day, Moonboy. Hope you're going well. Max, she's going back into midfield. Might allow Dane to have a big game. Have seen Fisher named, though. Did Fisher get named? Because that would be probably why it'd be Fisher. So if that's the case, I think Caleb Daniel actually goes back to scoring what he was like in the start of the year, number one distributor, and maybe he's a hold up until his round 12 bye, because I'm just having a look at North's team. Yeah, Fisher, Dawson, and Will Phillips are in. Is Fisher being named on field? No, so Fisher's named on the extended bench. So you got Foss, Dersma, Scott, Fisher, Dawson, Parker, Phillips, and Constanti. So I think Parker, Foss, Constanti are probably and Bailey Scott probably the 4, and then one of Dersma, Fisher, or Phillips are probably going to be that 5th and be the sub. Maybe Fisher could be the sub, maybe Dersma's the sub, maybe he's in and he's the sub, or maybe Bailey Scott. Foss will be fine, but yeah, if Fisher comes in, obviously that will mean that I expect Fisher to be in, because if Sheasel's training with the mids and forwards, it means that probably he's coming in. So yeah, I would say that's the case. And that's why I adjusted my number one. I had Sheasel number one captain before I heard that news, and adjusted to second. If you guys want to check out my captain's video, that was up maybe a couple of hours ago. So make sure you guys do check that out. James Crabb, 99. Would you be happy to go TDK to X and Clary to Peatling, or keep Clary and trade Foster, Sardo, Hawley? Yeah, definitely the first one, James. I like those trades. TDK to X and Clary to Peatling, mate. Tick from me. I think Peatling's a good guy to make a little bit of cash and get you through to his buy round. And obviously X is one of the top couple of rucks. I think he's probably the number one ruck for the remainder of the season. I know Gawn's the number one on average and looking really good, but I do think it will be X. So yeah, tick for me. Jackson Giles had a message, but deleted it, so not sure what that was. Harley Reid, are you concerned over Marshall's next 2 after West Coast? To an extent, yeah. But at the end of the day, there's not really anything we can do. That's why I didn't want to make the TDK trade until his buy. I do think when Marshall's in top form, he can score against anyone. It doesn't actually matter, because he isn't just relying on hit-outs. He gets his ball around the ground. So as long as he can go all right in the 2 hard matchups, it's fine. But yeah, it is a slight concern. Probably not going to be captain or anything like that. But yeah, it depends who else you're really going to. Impy out this week, hoping Amon goes big, says Max. Amon's on 12, so not going too bad so far. Uncle Deja, thoughts on Cherrada Holmes? Yeah, don't mind it, depending on what other moves you can make. I think Cherrada Holmes is not sideways, because you're getting a guy that's probably going to be close to the top 6 defenders and close to the top 8 midfielder in Cherra. So I think that I would tick it off depending on how the rest of your team's looking. I don't think Chair is a high priority to trade out. He was only poor scoring in defence last week because of the injury, so I think he'll be fine. Ben McCulloch, so Stone to either El Hawley, Simpson or Hardiman. Yeah, Ben, I've changed my tune. I was pretty keen on Sardo Hawley, but I think I'm now on Riley Hardiman. If the round 12 bye doesn't affect you, the good thing with Sardo Hawley is he's got round 16 bye. Whether he gets to that bye without being sub once or twice is obviously the concern. Whereas I think Hardiman isn't going to be sub. I'm pretty confident in that. I think he's in their best 22. He's looked pretty good. So if you can get him, I'm pretty keen on him. So Ben, I'd go for Hardiman. I'd probably almost order it now, Hardiman. And then Simpson or El Hawley. Simpson plays first. If he's not the sub, I'd probably just jump on him first, to be honest, over Sardo Hawley, which is interesting because he's been named on the bench, but I do think Sardo Hawley's probably going to be the sub this week, looking at that bench. Chenkos Giath, anyone jump on, says DJ. Not me. I was just a bit concerned with the Darwin game. But I'm interested to see what he does score tonight to see if he can make cash for those that did jump on. Will Harvey Langford still make money priced at 618k, says Steve-O. I don't think so. He'll make a little bit of cash, but you're not jumping on him now. Jed Walter. Great mark, that one. Very, very good there. Noah Anderson started really well. He's up to 25. So the way he's going at the moment could potentially be a target for next week, for sure. He's the guy that I've got my eye pretty closely on. If I don't do two mid-priced moves next week, Noah Anderson's my number one target with how cheap he is. Where were we up to? Got a fair bit of chat, trying to make my way through here. Get to 100 likes, please, guys. Yes, yep, do that. We're up to 18 likes already, so we're going quite well. So if anyone hasn't liked the video yet, it takes 2 seconds, but it helps us out a whole bunch. So make sure you smash a like on the video so we can get to 100. That's the goal every stream. So TDK to Gorn and no-go, says Max Linden. No, not for me. I just think Max is too expensive. He's priced at 120. Like, you need him going well over 120 for the remainder of the season to do that, and you've missed those big scores. Like, look, I prayed up for Dacos at 110, and I said that was a mistake, and I'm pretty upset that I did that. I should have gone for a Tom Green or someone cheaper, and it's biting me now because I'm not getting the upgrades that I would love to get. Like, if I could get Nick Martin and Marshall this week with Teddy Kebbing, I'd love it, but I can't get Nick Martin because I got Nick Dacos last week. So, yeah, it is what it is, but I would just be saving and getting the value, guys. Like, every year we say it, and every year you pay up for someone thinking that they're going to break the trend, and then it doesn't. I thought Nick Dacos was going to break the whole don't pay up for anyone, and then he put up a bad score the week I get him. So, Ultranium Gaming. Hello, Suns fan here. G'day, Ultranium Gaming. Hope you're going well. And yeah, we'll see how the Suns go tonight. Big test for them. Good game, this one. Max Boswell, I really want Peatling, just can't find a way to get him, says Max. Yeah, I like him. The only way that I'll get Peatling is if Matt Carroll tomorrow night can pump out a massive score and just loop him on at D6. That would be the only way that I would be getting Peatling this week. More likely that I'm getting Max Holmes. Finley Hawthorn, Oliver to Filippo, or Peatling, or Red Dot Rookie to Sardo Hawley. I would be going Oliver to James Peatling out of those options. I want to see Filippo play that a little bit of midfield time first before jumping on, personally. Bailey Humphrey, that looks like a goal. Yeah, it's a good kick from Bailey Humphrey. Gold Coast, good start. They've kicked 3 of the first 4. They're out to a 14-point lead. Yeah, I'd go Peatling there. I want to see Filippo first, Finley, so I'd be doing that. And a red dot rookie to Sardo Hawley. Who's to say that Sardo Hawley's not a red dot in a week or two? So that would just be my thinking there. Should I keep Nod or trade him, says Zane Thorstensen. I would be keeping Nod if he's on your bench because he will probably be back next week. So I'd be keeping him and just using a rookie this week. But if you've held him this long, far out, that's certainly some perseverance there for sure. Ben Hayes, Martin feels like a must-have next week. Bales from Daniel. Yeah, or I'd love to do that trade next week, depending on if I can do it or not. I guess we'll have to see. Rodler, hey Bales, who are we looking at tonight? So yeah, I own no one, but I'm looking at Noah Anderson, who started very well. Keeping on Carl Amon as well, because he's pretty cheap as a defender. Also, Flanders to just see if there's any signs of life, just because he's very, very cheap now. And then Dylan Moore is also the other one. There's Cyril Rioli. Good to see Cyril out the footy. So, yeah, we'll see if any of those players can put their hands up as a potential option next week. At the moment, Anderson's definitely putting his hand up early. And I'm happy for Jordy, who's got Anderson, who's been frustrating in the last few weeks. Ben Hayes, nice Amon, good start. Yeah, Amon started pretty well. I'm 15. Still got half a quarter to go. Max Bosman, when you get a chance, read out the time so we can sync up. Yep, we'll do that. There's just a ball up now, but when that is done, we can go. So here we go. So 10, 50, 49, 48, 47, 46, 45, 44, 43, 42, 41, 40. So that should sync you guys up if you would like to sync up and watch this at the exact same time as me. Or the wizard, that could be a free against. Yep. Please do something after I went Amon from Zach Reed, says Ben. Yeah, the Zach Reed trade out, this just hurt a lot. Like I did it as well before Anzac Day. I thought, yep, wet weather, trade him out. And then half an hour later, I heard that Sam Wicks is out. So it was originally going to be Marias and Foss out that week. I then decided to get a little bit more cash and trade out Reed. And then half an hour later, I heard that Wicks was out. And if I'd known that Wicks was going to be out, I would have kept Zach Reed. So just typical of the injury reporting of the AFL. Again, I know, and Wicks had himself that morning, so it would have been nice if I actually heard that Wicks was injured before, but yeah, can't do anything about it now. Hey, Bales, Oliver to Green and 68k or Peatling and 309k, says Jackson Giles. Ooh, good question. So, Jackson, really depends what that 300k you're going to do next week. If you've got a few guys on field that you want to upgrade and maybe do like a rookie to a Filippo and then do like a Caleb Daniel up, I'd probably bank the cash. But I do prefer Tom Green. I think Tom Green's a really good get still. He's not as cheap as what he was, but yeah, I'm not sure if Anderson will get a tackle there because McKenzie only used one hand. There's Flanders. Just want Flanders to show something. Like, he's a natural scorer. He just hasn't done anything. But yeah, Oliver to Green sounds good, Jackson. But if you need that extra cash, I also think Peatling's a good buy. Ben Hayes, El Hawley or Lindsay on field Bales. I'd be backing in Lindsay out of those two. I know Lindsay's been poor, but he has shown more often than not he can actually have a good score. And if you've got a red dot, Ben, El Hawley plays Saturday night. You can loop him, see how he goes if he's not the sub, and then play Lindsay if you don't like the score. Thomas Elliott, this is making me realise how much of a fantasy addict I am. Not the slightest bit interested, says Tom. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, very, very good point. Like, I'm watching this thinking about fantasy still. Yeah, Anderson got paid that tackle. I'm more focused on fantasy and I don't have anyone in the game. So, yeah, just shows exactly what you're saying there. Going Foss and TDK to Cherry and Sardell Hawley. Yep, Ben, tick. I don't mind those two. Just make sure Sardell Hawley's not the sub. Henry V. I'm looking at bringing Reed back. I just think there'll be no end to him hurting non-owners and really helps him. Yeah, I think DT Lemon, if anyone's on the Patreon, they made a good point with Reed. That if you think he's going to go 85 plus from here, I think you could definitely jump back on. I'm a bit concerned. I don't love jumping back on. I'd like to try and find the next guy. So go jump on a Bergman instead. Bergman's the same price, and I'd much prefer Bergman over Zach Reed, which is a hot take, I guess, after what Zach Reed's been doing. But I think Bergman, if he's playing his midfield role, is a good player to potentially target. So I'd go for Bergman over Reed personally. But if you think Reed's going to go really, really well, then I think there are worse options than bringing him back. There's Malcolm Roses. I think this is the first game for the year, I think. Bells, I reckon Josh Dacos goes big this week as a halfbacker versus Crows. Scared not owning him, says Ben. Yeah, he's someone I've considered jumping on over Max Holmes. And if it wasn't for the round 16 buy for Holmes, I probably would get Josh Dacos. Just for my own team, I just think that round 16 buy for me is just way too valuable. I need to get Holmes instead. Save a tiny bit of money as well. There's a Fiorini. That's a good mark there. Intercept mark. That'll definitely please the coaches. Thoughts on short to Bowie, says Tony. Probably not for me. I think there are better options around Bowie's price now. I think you've got Max Holmes, who we mentioned. I think Jack Sinclair's a good option. Josh Dacos. I think there's three guys I think I'd probably prefer around that price. So not for me, but Bowie's been very good this year. Let's go Coral, says Ben. There. Angus Heasley, will Dylan Moore ever come good? Speaking as a sad draft owner who took him over Nasiah. I think he'll come back eventually, right? We started all right. He's on 18 at the moment. He's very cheap, so he's someone I'm definitely looking at to upgrade my final rookie. And if he's not the guy, then I can trade at his buy. So he's definitely someone that I'm looking at for sure. Exceptions, Bales. Could I go to Nank instead of Marshall if it means getting Martin to avoid the bad matchups for Marshall before the buy? Says exceptions. You could. Like it's an option because I think Nank's got the round 14 buy, so you could just trade him to whichever one of Gorn if he's maybe dropped a bit, English, Cherry or Marshall, whichever one you don't have. I just don't know if Nank's been as consistent. So he's at 870, break even 95. He's got Cherry this week, so I don't love the matchup. But then he goes Essendon, Giants, Sydney, then the bye. His last three, 94, 81, and 93. Not bad. Like, it's definitely, like, when I think about it, it's definitely a play, right? If Nank can average 95 over the next 4 weeks before his bye, I just think Marshall's at a good price. Like, for example, I could probably go, so like Nank is 870. I could probably go Nank and Nick Martin over Holmes and Marshall. And that's something that, thinking about it, I could definitely look at. I just do think Marshall's a good option. So, yeah. You've actually half tempted me, exceptions, because I don't think Nank's actually a bad option. I think he's a safe, solid guy, R2 for the time being, and you can trade during his bye. Yeah, interesting one. I might even think about it, I'm in two minds. I want to go Marshall, but I don't. I know what you mean with the tougher matchups to come. With Witts and then Gorn. So Anderson's already back on. He's got a free. So Anderson looks like he's going pretty big tonight. Max Bossom. Yeah, didn't have a good week last week. Lost a few thousand spots on the ranking, but hopefully I can climb back up. Yeah, Max, same with me, mate. Hopefully we can both get back up. Jack Vincent. I'm not being negative. I just think that the Hawks will win. That's all. All good, mate. Yeah, all good. Yep. If you think the Hawks win, yeah. I think it's a good game. I think it's a 50-50 one. So for sure. Hey, HK Vex. Hey, legend, Daniel to Holmes or fix up bench rookies? Probably Hardman pending a potential buy sub. Yeah, the buy is something to just watch. I don't think he'll be sub, but it is something to keep an eye on. I'd probably bring in Hardiman, knowing that if Shees was playing more up the ground, I think I'd just hold off on the Daniel trade out, I reckon. So I would probably do maybe do a rookie to a Hardiman and get him, I reckon. There's Ainsworth, and that's a goal. Another goal for Gold Coast. Good start for Gold Coast. Thomas Elliott Bales got a trade locked in with TDK to Ryan Marshall. Have no cash in the bank, but should I use the second trade to go Daniel to Peatling or use it for a cash up and go Mariah or Warner to Hardiman or another rookie? I think with the fact of the Daniel news, I think Daniel to Peatling is a good trade, but I think you can probably get the same points from them this week, and I would probably go Mariah to Hardiman, because that will get you cash going. So I like that trade. Mariah to Hardiman is the one. If Warner's the sub, then maybe Warner to Hardiman instead, because Warner plays tomorrow night. So if you can obviously do it with DPP. Max Bossom, Daniel against Richmond in that role, he could hit his break even, could really hurt the people that traded him out. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, especially if she's up the ground more, Daniel could actually start putting up some decent enough scores. So yep, something to watch. Corey Blackledge, Fisher is getting named due to being Simpkin, maybe out with his grandma dying last night. He went back home. Yeah, that's something to watch. Yeah, it was unfortunate hearing that news for Jai Simpkin. Obviously, thoughts to him and the family. So, yeah, I think Fisher will be named. And obviously, yeah, Simpkin's, I think, named on the ground. So, yeah, something to keep an eye on. And that's probably why Sheezel's trained in the mids and forwards this week, because of, in case Simpkin's out, maybe to get that little bit of extra time up there. Hardiman over El Hawley, says Ben. Yes, for me. Yep, I'll do that if you can afford it. Obviously, it's a bit more expensive, but I'd get Hardiman over Sado Hawley to get rid of the sub risk. If the round 12 buy doesn't affect you as well. Sado Hawley's got a good buy though, round 16, but I do worry a little bit now that is he going to be able to stay out of the vest until round 16, which I don't think he will. So what's the point of jumping on him? That's probably my point. Harley Reid, who to VC and C? Butters, Martin, Sheasel, Cherry, or Marshall? So So I did my captain video earlier today, Harley. So if you want to check that out, feel free. Out of those, I would be fading Butters. I think he gets the Ocean Mullen tag. Obviously, we saw Dacos get that, so I'd be fading him. I think from memory, Martin was outside the top 10, but I liked him as a VC. Sheasel's number 2, Cherry's number 1, Marshall's number 3. So I'd be going Cherry VC into Rowan Marshall out of those guys. But I also don't mind if you want to go Martin VC as a bit of a sort of see how he goes into a Tristan Cherry. That'd be my 2 ones, but I'll probably go X into Marshall. Jack Vincent, my opinion is that Gold Coast have won enough games and that they would be thinking that they're unbeatable up north. Yeah, Jack, that's a good point. Yep. Jack Vincent, I very much love your channel. You're very unbiased. Thank you, mate. I try to be very unbiased. I do try and be unbiased just because that's, I guess, where you can give the best information when you're not biased towards something. So, but appreciate it. Vince Cubes, which other games are you streaming this weekend, Bales? So looking at tomorrow night, Sydney and Carlton. Should be a good game. And then I'll probably be doing Saturday night, Bulldogs and Essendon. So I think we'll be back to 3 watchalongs this week, which is the first time in a few weeks. So at this stage, I'll do at least 2. There's a guaranteed there will be one. I'm definitely doing one tomorrow night. Saturday night, I guess, would be the only one if I didn't do it. But I at this stage, I don't have anything on, so I will be probably doing it. There's Jath for a +6. Are we worried about Hardiman if Fisher's name, says Ben? I don't think so, because if Fisher's named, he'll just be doing what Daniel's been doing. Daniel will probably try and do what Sheasel's been doing, and then Hardiman will just have the same role. So I think Hardiman's fine, personally. Jay Sutts, Byster Coleman, TDK to Cherry. TDK to Cherry I like. I don't know if I like the Byster Kitty Coleman one. Kitty Coleman's on the bench. Wouldn't be shocked if he was the vest or subbed out. And I want to see a week or 2 from Coleman first. Bysto is someone to keep an eye on because he has been named on the as on the bench. I hope he's not sub, because then that means I'm going to be rolling a Matt Carroll at D6 for the week, which would suck, but it would be what it is. Dylan Moore lining up for another goal. Corey Bladage, I can get Martin and Marshall with TDK and Bice. Martin and Marshall for TDK and Bice. Yeah, like tick for me, definitely, for sure. Yeah, if you can get Martin and Marshall, that's tick for me. Ryan was the one last year people paid up for. Yes, yep, agreed. Yep. Max says cheers. Ben Hayes thought Carl would go decent with Impey out. Yep, yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, with Impey being out, probably a little bit of extra ball there. Amon's on 26, so good start for him. Still 2 minutes to go. Bales says Grundy an option, says Tony. What is Grundy's price? Has he got any good matchups? Let's have a look. So Brody Grundy, 855, average 85 this year. 54.60 the 2 is for, but then he went 115 against Essendon. He's got Carlton, Melbourne, Adelaide, Richmond. Not for me. No, not for me. He's got Pitney, Gawn, Riley O'Brien. If he had a really nice run like the West Coast and the Richmonds, and he's got Richmond there, but it's the later one. If he had some really good matchups, I'd say yes, but not for me. Not with he doesn't have good enough matchups to be an option personally. What are we doing with TDK? What should everyone be doing? Harry, Harry Thomas, that's obviously something everyone's got to deal with. If you don't have Tristan Cherry, well, he's a definite trade because you got no cover. Tristan Cherry's my number 1. I think Marshall's probably my number 2 pick. And then probably English is probably number 3 if you're looking at him as a bit of a pod. They're probably the 3 that I'd be looking at. I know people have mentioned like Nank isn't an awful option. You probably know what you're going to get with him. He's okay. Vicentini, if you want to go real risky at 454, I wouldn't do it personally, but some people might want a bit of risk. Maybe they can go a bench rookie to Vicentini and keep TDK. But Vicentini's got the round 12 bye, and so does TDK. So the only way you could really do that is if you had a Gawn or a Marshall and then TDK, and it didn't affect your buys too much. But I'd probably go for Cherry or Marshall personally. Let's go. Carl says, Max, how has Warple not touched it yet? Has he really not touched it? Interesting. I've got him in draft, so that's going to be a bit annoying. I feel Simpson is better played than Hardiman as he's way cheaper and can get Martin next week. But I feel like you can go Hardiman this week and get Simpson next week, Ben, because there's not really any rookies you'd be downgrading to next week. I don't know who they are. Like maybe Bo Allen. But yeah, I think go get Hardiman and get Simpson next week, because then you get another week of data from Simpson, and then you got a bit more confidence. He'll still be about 300k next week, Simpson. What are you doing with TDK? Yeah, I'm going to Rowan Marshall. That's what I'm doing. And then I think, has Warple given away the free kick? No, it was given away by Newcomb. Anderson started very, very well. He looked elite in a few of the earlier games. That's why I got him, says Max. He's going Marshall, says Max. Berman is good, but Reed, 20 break even and has ran 16 buy. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if the buys work, you could definitely look at that. If the round 12 buy is too bad for you, then yeah, you probably can't go Bergman. Noble on Fife, says Corey. Yeah, Noble started very well. Are we concerned with Boyd playing for Marshall? No, he's on the extended bench. There's no reason why St Kilda would change anything up. Marshall's actually starting to look in some good form. So, have to feel Cleary this week, says Max. To be honest, I don't think it's actually a bad thing. Like, Carlton are a high stoppage team. Like, I'm actually thinking that he's a chance to put up a good score and I might be able to bench Lindsay. So, I'm actually thinking Cleary could actually have a good week. If you can loop him, that would be perfect. But I think in a game where Carlton have a lot of stoppages, there could be a lot of tackles on offer. Cleary's had 2 bad games. And besides that, he's been pretty consistent. So there's Amon again. So I don't think it's actually the most awful things. I think most people have probably got a rookie they're not happy with on field still, whether that be a Lindsay or a Cleary or someone like that. There are obviously teams that aren't in that boat and they're obviously benefiting from it. But yeah. John Noble has the Flanders role of old. Feel bad for people that went Warple. Bales, I like the Romo pick. But I don't like his games after this week, but his buy's good. Jack says, thanks. All good, mate. Ben, yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, for sure. Nank averaging 101 over 6 versus North. I don't know, Bales, this is tempting me. Yeah, he's averaging 101, but that hasn't been against the Tristan Sherry, and Nank is getting a little bit older. So that's the thing. I'm probably not looking at past from Nank. Bice to Bergman or Lindsay to El Hawley? Well, Max, it could be made if somehow Bice is the sub, but I think it's... I don't know if I'd be playing El Hawley on field, if that's what you're doing. So if it's out of those two, it's Bice to Bergman, but yeah. Exceptions because he could go to English or Marshall with his round 14 bye. Yeah, exceptions. It's a good point, and I'm considering it. It's not a bad play, for sure, because he's got a better bye, and you can trade to Marshall or someone after the bye. They're not going to probably get out of hand too much. So yeah, I might consider it. You never know. Are we worried about Boyd, says Harry Thomas? No, not from... I don't think I am, no. Do I go to Marshall if I already have X and carry over 400k for next week? Yes, I think he's the best option. Or redlining, what's your other trade? Because if you've got 400k for next week, I'd prefer to do something else with the other trade. If you're going TDK to Marshall, I'd do something else with the other trade. Unfortunately, it looks like the Coast have the upper hand. Damn it, says Jack Vincent. Start Jezza or Daniel in draft, says Fast Break Frenzy. Well, if you could loop, that'd be perfect. But if you've got to play one, I think Daniel against Richmond this week is who I'd back in. Paulie29, going Garcia on my bench to Simpson. And Lindsay to Nick Martin. Thoughts? Yeah, tick for me, Paulie. Yep, I like him, for sure. If you could do a different rookie other than Garcia, because the better matchup for Garcia this week. But if that's what gets you the upgrade, then do it. Do it for sure. Sebastian, hey Bales, hope you're good, mate. Thank you, mate. Hope you're going on as well. TDK being out, Marshall or Gawn, have coin for Gawn, but double upgrade of Marshall and Martin or TDK. Oh, sorry, Marshall and Martin for TDK and Bice. Yeah, I'd be definitely doing that one. I think Gawn's too expensive, Sebastian. I wouldn't be going Gawn. I'd be going for Marshall and Martin. I like those trades. If I could get those two in this week, I'd be doing it for sure. Tick. TDK number 1, says Vincent. Tim Ashworth, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Any help for my trade, says Tim. I responded to you on the Patreon, Tim. I gave you what I'd do with your team. So I said that I'd go Kako down to Simpson, and I believe I said I'd upgrade. There was an upgrade there that I said, and I'd go to Nick Martin, I'm pretty sure. So I'd be doing those two, Tim. JSOS number 2, says Jack. Corey Bladage, Fisher's getting named due to... Yep, I think we read that out before. But also, if Simpkin decides to play Fish, he'll play VFL. Yep, okay, it's a good point, yep. Sultan, thoughts on Jackson over Marshall? Think Darcy was a test, though, says Sultan. Yeah, agreed. I wouldn't be going for Jackson. It's Marshall for me. If Darcy was out for a month or 6 weeks, I'd say, yep, you could definitely look at it, and I'd probably look at doing it. But, yeah, with the fact that he's not going to be out for longer, I'd be going for Marshall. Henry V, I've had Warple since round 5, been a real roller coaster, says Henry V. Yep, for sure he has been. James Ives, Patrick Cripps and Will Setterfield, a couple of shouts for left field options. Average looks solid. They are. I think I'd prefer Setterfield of the two. Setterfield's got a good buy. Cripps was a good option a few weeks ago before he went some good scores. I don't love either. Like, Setterfield's probably too expensive for me to take the punt on him, but I don't mind the play with the round 16 buy figure. You can get 70, 80k for him to get to $1 million. Get some good scores and then sideways in round 16. I think that there is worse moves to make, so I don't hate it. Freo got a good ruck run, says Sultan. Yeah, I know, but if Darcy's back next week, it doesn't really matter because he's going to be sharing with Darcy. Castle Richards going Garcia to Simpson and Bice to Green. Tick. If Garcia's on your bench, yep, tick for me. Wado, g'day Buzz. Cleary to El Hawley and Corey Warner to Nasiah. Yeah, tick for me. Yep, just make sure Sard El Hawley's not the sub. If he is, I'd prefer to go to if Simpson's not named sub, Wado, I'd prefer to get Simpson this week. Or if you can somehow get Hardiman, maybe. But I don't mind the El Hawley pick. Thoughts on Peatling 2-week play instead, Bales? Yeah, I like Peatling as an option. Yep, I'd tick for me. I've caught up to pretty much the chat now, so I just want to get into the scores from the quarter. We're up to 28 likes, so if you haven't liked it, make sure you smash a like. Let's see if we can get 50 before halftime. We've got 50 watching, so we should hopefully get 50. If every person watching can smash a like, that'd be fantastic. So yeah, Anderson's on 41, going very, very nicely. I'm keeping a very close eye on him and seeing what he scores tonight, because he would be someone I'd be targeting next week. Took Miller has started well as well. Scrimshaw, 33 is good. Noble, 33 is also very good. Leading disposal winner on the ground. Dylan Moore's on 32. Good to see some signs of life from Dylan Moore. So good score in the first quarter from him. Carl Amon, good score, 31. So all the guys kept an eye on in Amon, Moore and Anderson are all going pretty well, which is good to see. Closely, I've got him in draft on 25. Fiorini on 22, who I've also got in draft. Newcomb's on 19, bit quiet. Rioli, 18, bit quiet. Sicily, 16, been quiet as well. Humphrey, 16. Reeves on 15, obviously the number one ruck tonight. Ainsworth, 13, who some people I got him in draft as well. Flanders on 10. Yeah, I just don't know. Just on 9, not a great start from him. Hopefully he can get going for anyone that took the punt on him. McDonald's on 5. Warple's on 1. Yeah, wow, that's not great. Weddle hasn't even touched it. He's got one hit out. So Hawthorn, a few of their key players haven't touched the ball yet. But yeah, so some good scores from some players there. Anderson being the main one that's standing out that is an option. And shout out to Jordy who has got him. Tim Ashaw's got another super chat. Thank you, mate. Did you see my question? Yeah, mate, I answered before. So yeah, I literally answered straight after you put the super chat in. I said I would be going Kako down to Cooper Simpson. And then I would be upgrading using that cash and using that money on the other end. I think he had someone, and you could go like Nick Martin. So I'd be doing something like that. So, yep, I would be doing those trades, Tim. But appreciate the super chat. What do we got? Where was I up to? Zane Thorstenson. Got a trade left. And who should I trade out of these guys? Nod, Finn O'Sullivan, Carroll, or Corey Warner. And who should I get in? Got 350, 400k left. So I'd probably keep Carroll. He's been named, which is good. I jumped on him and he's been named, so I'm really happy I've got some cover in defence. I think Nod's back next week, so I'd really probably want to hold on to him because there's no point trading him now. If you've held him this long, you might as well keep holding. I think Corey Warner's probably the one there that goes for me. And maybe trading him up to James Peatling if you can get there would be the trade I'd make, Zane. Tony Ford, would you bring in Gawn instead of Marshall if Boyd plays? Well, yeah, you probably would if Boyd played. I don't think Boyd will play. And I'll just have a look if Sandringham played the VFL on like the Saturday and like we'll know before then. Let's have a look. So VFL. Of course, Sandringham play on the Sunday morning. So I guess we'll know. Like, if people are at the airport, if Boyd flies over to Perth, then we'll obviously there might be a slight flag, but I don't think he will. Marshall's been playing. He's been playing quite well the last couple of weeks, so I think he'll be fine. And I don't love paying up for Gawn either. Sebastian, TDK to Marshall and Bice to Martin with 1k left. Perfect. Oh, yeah, Sebastian, perfect, mate. Tick for me, for sure. If you can do those trades, I'd definitely be doing those. I'd be ticking those off for sure. Is that a free kick downfield? Was it against Anderson? I don't know who that was against. Was it against Ainsworth, maybe? I know Anderson gave the original free kick away, but I don't know what the downfield one was for. The Blues are resting after round 12, and they'll hopefully be a better team. Oh, it was Toot Miller. It's a bit soft. That free kick. Took's starting to do a few of these little things on the ground I don't know if I love. Normally thought he was a pretty clean player, but he's starting to do a few little grubby things on the field, so interesting to see. Just here, Bales, what are your trades, says Jack? So at the moment, I've gone TDK to Marshall, and I've gone Clayton Oliver to Max Holmes, because I need a defender. Exceptions is almost starting to convince me, does maybe Nankervis come in instead of Marshall, and that means I can get Nick Martin? That's something maybe. I just don't know if I feel comfortable with it, that's all. Corey Blackledge, Cleary and Davidson, I'm looping this week for sure. Yep, I like it. Stality, thoughts on these trades, Bales? Daniel and De Koning for Nick Martin and Marshall. Yeah, tick for me. Yep, I think Daniel will be better this week, but still, you can trade him and you don't need to worry about him. Looks like Warple's doing a bit of a job on Matt Rao at stoppages. Callum Mills playing VFL, says Fast Break Frenzy. Yep, I heard he's playing half a game, so he will come in through the buys, which will be quite handy to bring him in, because you can hide behind if anything happened to him that you're in the buys. So, yep, Mills will be a pretty popular target in a couple of weeks, I'd imagine, if he can get through unscathed. Miller it was against, says Corey. Tim Ashworth, Brock to Simpson, Oliver to Green, or Martin or Kako to Sardell Hawley. Tim, I would go Kako to Simpson, and I would go Oliver to Tom Green or Nick Martin. I'd prefer Nick Martin, but I think both are good. So, Tim, that's what I'd be doing there. Named as a Rover, says Fastback Frenzy. Yeah, no, I think Mills will play midfield when he comes back in. I'm not too worried about that. Yeah, it'll just be interesting to see if he can get through unscathed and stay fit. But yeah, for sure, he's an option through the buys. I think he'll be a very if he comes in next week, I think he'll be a very popular in round 12, the first of the buys. Corey was pushed after the kick. Harry Thomas, sorry I left. You might have answered, but Oliver to Martin or any other option like better under $1 million. Oh, Oliver to Martin, lock it in, Harry. I love that trade. Oliver to Martin is great. If I could do that this week, I would do it. So, yep, I like that for sure. Would you trade out Cleary or a red dot like Henderson to... So, would you trade Cleary or a red dot like Henderson to Simpson would give me more cash for a big upgrade next week? If you can still do the same upgrade by trading Henderson out, Tony, I'd prefer to trade Henderson out just because it would be better for buys because we're pretty close to the buys. I think Cleary could be handy through those buys as well. Depends how the rest of your team's looking. If you've got a few guys that you need to upgrade and everything like that, then maybe trade Cleary. But if you can still do the same upgrade, I'd rather trade out Henderson and get Simpson and do the same upgrade. That's what I'd personally prefer to do. Jack, why Nankervis? Surely you don't want a Richmond player given their total points each week. Marshall, Peatling, or Luke Jackson and Martin. Yeah, well, the only reason I'm considering Nank is because I guess he's fairly safe and solid, and I can get Nick Martin. I'm probably not going to do it though. I'm probably still on the Ryan Marshall. I just guess I was looking at it. I think Exception made a pretty good argument saying, if you go Nank, he's got the round 14 bye. You can trade to whichever one you want of English, Marshall, or whoever you don't have, or Gawn maybe. I know Gawn's got round 15 bye, but anyway, you can get one of those other guys, and Marshall's got Witts then Gawn. I think Witts could also be rested next week if Moore's come in this week. Maybe they're giving him a week to play a bit, and then maybe he plays next week and Witts gets rested, which means I think Marshall could go really well. So, yeah. Fiorini looking the good, says Rod, though. Yep, he is. He's started the second quarter very well, and I've got him in draft, so I hope that he puts up. Yeah, 37. Yeah, right. Where are we up to? Marshall and Peatling or Jackson and Martin? I think I'd go Marshall and Peatling as much as I love Nick Martin. I just don't like Luke Jackson, personally. Red lighting this week, TDK to Marshall and Kako to Simpson. Yep, next week, Daniel to a primo mid, and then Bice to Coleman, Blitzsalves, or Archie Rolls. Oh, and I'll put Miles Berman in there as well if round 12 isn't too bad for your red lighting. During the pre-game, said Witts was going to rest this week before their injuries. Yeah, right. Okay, interesting. So there's a chance he gets rested next week. So everyone's saying about Marshall against the tougher matchups, but if they were looking at resting Wits this week, I think that there's a very big chance he could be rested next week against St Kilda. So I think that, I believe that game against the Saints is at Marvel, so they've got to travel. So I think that is a definite play, and if that's the case, I think Marshall could go quite well. St Kilda play Gold Coast, yet final game of the round. So I think it's a very big chance that could happen. So, Brisbane Bloods, thoughts on Sheldrick? He scored 51 from 33% Tongan, 22% CBA, 16 from 14% Tongan, 12% CBA, 65 from 38% Tongan, 19% CBAs, 51 from 24% Tongan, 20 CBAs. When he is on, he's scoring, getting CBAs. Yeah, I guess the difference is he's a sub, so he's got the fresh legs, and not like, look at Sid Draper. Sid Draper actually scored really well every game, came into the team and didn't score as well. I just wouldn't be buying into Sheldrick personally. I think Mills is going to be back potentially as early as next week. So I would be very worried that Mills would just come in for Sheldrick. So I would not be going to Sheldrick personally. Going TDK to Briggs and Hayes to Sheldrick will let me loop Lindsay and Sheldrick M8. Yeah, Brisbane Bloods, I wouldn't do that personally. I would just back in Lindsay at M8 and I would just go TDK to a Cherry or a Marshall and just do a rookie downgrade. Or if you've got an Oliver or something like that, then trading them. That's what I'd be personally doing. I don't have a mid forward. I can't put Kako in the forward line. Oh yeah, well then grab Cooper Simpson then. Can't put Kako in. Oh, you can't put Kako. So you don't have a forward that's a mid forward. Oh yeah, well then just go get Sardo Hawley then. Just go get Sardo Hawley, Tim. Go Sardo Hawley and then go Oliver to Nick Martin. Because you'll have a forward that can go in the mids for a week and go Nick Martin in the forward line. That's what I'd do. Graham out for 12 weeks with a shoulder injury and foot injury for Rogers. Yes, yeah, Graham out for a while and then Rogers. I don't know why that would mean that they had to play Wits. I could understand if Moyle got injured, but they could have easily still rested Wits and just brought in someone else. But doesn't make a lot of sense, but I still think there's a chance Wits could be rested next week. Do you think there's a case to not pick unpopular pod players because Chairman Dard tend to miss their scoring? Oh, no, I wouldn't look into that, Henry V. If you're keen on someone, then I think go for it. I wouldn't worry about that too much. I think that's probably looking in too much in depth, I reckon. There's Dylan Moore. Dylan Moore's been okay tonight so far. And I like Dylan Moore's round 15 buy, so I'm really considering him. I'm looking at Merritt next week. Cheapest, he's going to get good matchups and good buys, says Harry. Yeah, he's got Richmond next week. If there's ever a week to jump on him, I think next week could be that play. And I wish I went a cheaper guy last week because it meant I could go Zach Merritt next week and get the round 16 buy. But, yeah, unfortunately, just, hasn't quite worked for me this year. It was on Fox Footy, so you can rewind and watch the interview in the pre-game if you want, says Jack. I believe you. Yeah, no questions about it. Jack Vincent, I'm thinking the Hawks are working the Gold Coast out. It's a bit close to what it was at quarter time. So, it could be coming back. Just a public service announcement. Thanks for your work and your advice. No wonder fantasy competition's so good. Oh, thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Appreciate the kind words there, Wado. Fast Break Frenzies, Bale, since you're trading in Marshall, should I go somewhere else? Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. As I said on the Hat Chat Live last night, do as I say, not as I do. So if I'm saying do something, do that. But if I do it, then maybe don't. So they're wearing them down, says Jack. You really want Hawks to win, don't you? SM123, Gawn or save cash and go Marshall? Save cash and go Marshall. Gawn's priced at 120. It's too expensive. There's Fiorini again. Fiorini's taking some good contested marks. Corey Blackledge, watch out for round 15 buy forwarders. There could be 3+ forwards in that. Okay, yes, sorry, that's a good point. Yeah, I don't have a round 15 buy defender, but yeah, there's a lot of those forwards that are on that buy. Yep, thank you, Corey. Do a bit of a refresh of scores. Make sure you guys smash like on the video, up to 31 likes. Let's try and get to 50 before half time. That would be fantastic if you guys can do that. So we've got Newcomb's actually top scoring player now. So you know, quite first quarter, but he's got going now. Dylan Moore's up to 43, so seeing some good signs from him. Fiorini, Anderson, Amon, so some good names up there that we were trying to keep an eye on. Dylan Moore's the big one. If he can show a good score, going a rookie to him as a play, obviously, yes, there's a few of those guys on the round 15 buying the forward line, but he could even just be a trade out at round 15 anyway if you've got a completed team. There's Ben Long and goal for Gold Coast. They needed that one after a couple to Hawks in a row. So goal to Gold Coast, I think. I think they're reviewing it, but I think it'll be a goal. There's a lot of chat tonight. I feel like I haven't even stopped doing the chat, to be honest. I feel like it's just been constant chat. It's not. I like it. I'm not complaining. I'd rather that than have no chat at all. Stu, g'day, Bales. Caleb Daniel, Nick Martin, or Garcia to Peatling? Got a feeling Garcia will be bad. It's a tricky one. Normally, I would say probably go Garcia to Peatling. I think the Nick Martin plays really good, though. Maybe go Caleb. I think this week you're going to get more points from Caleb Daniel and James Peatling. But I think moving forward and for buy structure, I think Caleb Daniel and Nick Martin's the place, Stu. Because I reckon round 12, a lot of us heavy, or is it touched from Scrimshaw? A lot of us are heavy. So, yeah, I'd probably... Yeah, I like the Caleb Daniel and Martin play. But, yeah, it depends on buys, Stu. I'd check that one. CJ still only on 12, says Stallity. Corey Badge, as MJ Mini Monk said it on their strategy podcast about it. What was that about, Corey? Oh, sorry, about round 15 buy forwards. Yes, yeah. Would you do Brock to Simpson? Probably not. Isn't Sandy Brock playing this week? Pretty sure Sandy Brock's in the team because McGovern's still not back. If I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure Sandy Brock's playing. Is he? Or maybe is he not? No, he's on the extended bench. He still might play. I'd be going... I wouldn't be doing Brock Simpson. He's just not worth it. I'd just be doing someone out, another rookie out. General thoughts on Treloar, traded him for him in draft for his fast break frenzy. Yeah, I don't love Treloar long term just because he's injured all the time. I know last year he was good, but this year he just hasn't had a good run at it. So got to goal to long, so it wasn't touched. I wasn't sure if it was or not. Save cash for Daniel next week, says Tim Ashworth. 880 Luke Ryan upgrade from Bice, says Baxter. If you had better matchups, I'd say you could, but probably not for me. Luke Ryan burned us last year. He was good last week, but I'm not sure. Brisbane Bloods, as a Swans fan, I think Gus deserves to start on field, not get vested. Priced at around 40, there could be significant value, possibly 40 plus points, but I get what you're saying with Millsy returning. Yeah, Brisbane Bloods are short for sure. Sheldrick's a natural scorer, and if he had a good run at it, he would probably score well, but he unfortunately just doesn't have a clean run at it, so that's my concern there. No, a Blue supporter, says Jack Vincent. Fair enough. Tyler Jones, Steele or Sinclair? I'm happy to go with Trainer and Reed for another week and choose between Holmes and Sinclair. Out of Steele or Sinclair, I'd go Sinclair. I would back in Holmes over Sinclair. I think Sinclair's got the better matchup this week, but I like their N16 buy for Holmes. So I'd probably go Holmes because that's what I'm doing. But yeah, it's a obviously all could be solid. I hope Trainer gets a Rising Star nomination soon, says Corey. Mate, I do hope so as well. Max Bosm, AFL has an insane amount of money and they can't even afford a camera with decent enough FPS. Do you have a high quality slow-mo? Yeah, good point. Gene R. Hey, Bales, thoughts on Darcy Cameron or Tim English as a pod? Currently have Nank and Gawn. I don't think you're trading Nank or Gawn at the moment. I like Tim English as a pod. I think he's been really good. Cameron's been good, but his matchups before the bye are pretty difficult. So that's a really good kick from Closey. That's a goal. That's a cracking kick from Closey. So Gold Coast kicked a couple in a row after Hawthorn kicked some. So, yeah, Gold Coast have got a decent lead again. Good to see Jyes stop throwing it in quarter two, says Kent Hodder. Yep, Newcomb's had a good quarter so far. Is he still the top scoring player of the game? Well, he's the second highest scoring player of the game. He's still going along very nicely. Who is the downgrade for Bias? Want to go Davidson up to a primo next week, says Stallity. Hardiman. Hardiman would be my pick in defence as a downgrade. Preferably not on field. I'd prefer to just downgrade and put him on the bench. Fast break frenzy. Captain Rosie, Marshall or Whitfield in draft. So I've got Marshall at 3, Whitfield at 6, and Rosie outside the top 10. So I'd be going for Marshall. But if you want my thoughts on Marshall and Whitfield, and even Rosie, Fast Break Frenzy. Check out the captain video from before, because I did actually chat about each of those three. VC, Whitfield into Cherry, or Cherry into Marshall? I'd be going... Normally, so if you want to follow, it's his Flanders for a goal, maybe. Yeah, Flanders goal. 3 quick goals for Gold Coast. So really open up this lead. And Flanders has shown a sign of life. See, Harry, that's a good one. Because if I'm going to back my own list in, I would say VC Cherry into Marshall. And at the end of the day, I would probably do that. Because Cherry is a VC... is my number one option. If you can number VC the number one option for the week, that's great. And then Captain Marshall is pretty good at the last game. I also don't mind Whitfield VC. I think he's got the thing. You go to Cherry as the captain. I would still go Cherry VC to Marshall. I'd go the number one option and get the crack at that one. Because if Whitfield just gets a 110, you're probably going to take it. You're not going to get the chance at Cherry. So I'd go Cherry VC to Marshall, but I also don't mind the other one. Come on, Warple. Let's get back to zero, says Henry V. FPS is frames per second. The more frames you have in a video, the more you can slow it down. Yeah. I was just trying to think. I was trying to think what it was. I had a mental blank, but yes, frames per second. So, yep, thank you for that, Max. Corey, this is a weird round for our teams where a lot of players are on Sunday this week. Yes, yep, for sure. It's very interesting how that's worked out this round. Not many players tonight. Obviously, I've got no one tonight. Not many people have got anyone tonight. Maybe people have got one player. But then tomorrow night, with TDK out, not a lot of people have got any Carlton players. People got Bryson Roberts, and maybe a Warner or a Heaney, and maybe they're looping, or they've got Cleary or like a Matt Carroll on the bench. But besides that, there's not many. Rippers 1708. Hey, Bars, gone. Daniels into Martin and Oliver to Max Holmes. Thoughts? Yep, tick for me. Love them. You get Max Holmes, goodbye. Nick Martin, goodbye. They're both really good options. I think they're both a little bit of value. I like those trades, mate. Tick. Zane with Suns, 3 goals in a matter of minutes. Yeah, exactly. It's crazy. Yeah, 3 goals in like 2 minutes. VC Sheasel in Nasiah, says Wado. Yep, I like that. Sheasel is my number 2, and I've got Nasiah, I think, 10, I believe. But if you want to check the full list, check out the captain video from earlier today. Here's Amon again. Handball for Amon. To Con McDonald. Come on, step up Hawthorn, says Zane. Yeah, Hawthorn have been a bit quiet. It is good to see Dylan Moore, though, scoring well. Dylan Moore's a definite option. I'm definitely looking at him. He's very, very cheap. Come on, Carl, says Max Bossom. Get going again, please. Yes, he's been a bit quiet this quarter, but still not going awful. He's on 41, if I'm not mistaken. 43. No, it's not bad. Like 43, right? If you can get to 100, he's still got half a quarter to go. Like, I wouldn't be complaining too much about, Dylan Moore's on 47 as well, by the way. Top scoring for the match. So this could be what we needed from Dylan Moore to look at him as an option. I was half tempted to bring him in early, but yeah, I just thought they're better options. Well, cool. I've caught up with the chat, which is nice. We've got 38 likes, so make sure you guys keep smashing like on the video. Let's try and get to 50 before halftime. So we're 12 away, so let's try and get 12 more likes before halftime comes. And obviously our goal was always 100. Would like a setting score from Carl to make up for the last 3 weeks. Yeah, of course, Max, right? Yeah. But if you get a solid score, then that'd be good. CJ still on 12, was thinking about trading him in before TDK out, says Stallity. Yeah, I think a few people might have been bailed out. I was worried more about the Darwin game than anything, and Scrimshaw back in was also a bit of an issue. Why do some games look really good on Fox and some don't? Is it due to lighting or stadium or weather? Well, don't think there's anything wrong with my screen. I think it looks fine. Okay, maybe it hasn't been as good tonight, but they are up in Darwin, so. Is Boxall going to get much game time? Bit concerned there, says Rippers. I think Boxall's going to be the sub. I think. Looking at that bench. There's a chance that they don't put him sub because he's just a mid. Maybe they like having him as that mid that starts on the bench and just rests those other mids maybe. But yeah, it's a bit. He's going to be stiff if he is out, but unfortunately St Kilda are just a bit different at the moment. What position is more playing? I haven't paid enough attention. Still playing his usual role as that high half forward. But he's been a lot better tonight than what I've seen in the past. He's got a bit more of the ball. He wants to keep that in play there. Did actually quite well. Almost worked out there. Noble handball there. Rioli kick will be coming up here. No, a few bounces first. Make that 3 bounces. Make that 4 bounces. So 4 bounces. It's a good run from Rioli. There's Weddle. Gives it to Ward. Probably should have given it to Amon instead, but there's McDonald. Here's Warple, finally. Hardly seen Warple tonight. Watson, that's a good mark. Very, very good mark by Nick Watson. What's Moore's draw like if he goes well? That is another good question. Who was it? Wado was the one that asked that one. Let's have a look at what his run would be after the bye. How much have I moved down in rank actually this tonight? I've moved down about 400 spots. There you go. So Dylan Moore's run after this week. He goes Brisbane at the MCG, Collingwood MCG, Bulldogs at Marvel, Adelaide at UTAS. So obviously it's not amazing, but if he shows something, he is an option. He kicked 1 goal 3 last week. That was why he scored 69. He's just under 700k, so it's like he's so cheap that you don't need him to average 9. If he can even average like 80, it would be all right. Jath won't go well tonight, it seems. Not a good trade-in for people. Yeah, Corey, I'd probably agree at the moment. Should I go Richards VC as I have barely anyone into X? Gross, Boxer, or Boyd is my only potential loops on Sunday. Well, Boyd to be the only one that you could go for. If Ed Richards is your best VC option red line you're looking at, then you might as well take a punt before X plays, just in case you can't loot. OMG go the Hawks, says Jack. So yeah, Jack, I'm assuming you just don't like Gold Coast. That's what I'm picking up there. When I trade TDK to Marshall, I only have 27k from other trade. Would I be better off trading someone like Chera to Sinclair or a red dot to Simpson? If Chera to Sinclair fixes up your buy structure, I'd tick it off. I guess it just depends what you're looking at doing. Looks like Ned Reeves. Is Ned Reeves injured? Doesn't look great. What happened here? Oh, yeah, that should have been a free kick. I'm very surprised that... How's that not a free kick against Witts? Witts hasn't even gone for the ball. He's just gone to bump him and he's tunnelled him. I'm pretty surprised that wasn't a free kick to Ned Reeves there, but... And why does Connor McDonald keep persisting with this rat's tail? I think it looks absolutely ridiculous. I think he looks like it. He looks like an idiot with this rat's tail. It looks so stupid. Rat's tails are not in vogue anymore, mate. They're long gone. Where are we up to? Lindsay or Garcia out this week, going up to Green, down to El Hawley at this stage. Can't do it with Lindsay and no cash, or Garcia and some cash. I'd trade Lindsay before Garcia because I think Garcia against West Coast could put up a good score, and I'd be happy to do those trades. I'd go Lindsay to down and then go to Tom Green. I'd be doing that. When I trade TDK to Marshall, I only have 27k from my other trade. Would I be better off trading someone? Oh, yeah, I said it before. Ned Reeves could be injured. How many says Corey, how many premiums do you have on each buy, says Brisbane Bloods? I'm not sure. I haven't exactly counted yet. It's in my buy planner, though, so on the Marez Magic website. Anderson next week could be good, says Corey. Yep, he's someone I'm looking at. Definitely. Has he got the round 15 buy or round 14 buy? I'm just having a look at that one. And so Gold Coast, round 14 buy. So that's with Collingwood, Richmond, Sydney, Gold Coast. So it's a good buy. I don't think I've got two. I've got obviously some players in that buy, but a few defenders. I've only got Dacos as a midfielder. So yep, I'm looking at Anderson next week. I think he's a good option. What's Noah Anderson's price? Like, this is a hard matchup, right? And if he goes well here, Noah Anderson, 952. He's on 52 at the moment. He'll probably go down slightly in price tonight, unless he keeps going and smashing it. He goes St Kilda, Freo, Geelong, then the bye, which I like. So Yeah, for sure, he's someone I'm looking at. I don't love that he doesn't really rack up those marks and tackles as much. Oh, no, Anderson's just kicked a goal. So there you go, Anderson goal. So Anderson's going to be probably over 60 now, I would imagine. He'd be on like 62, 61. There you go. Just don't love he doesn't rack up those marks and tackles. But he's obviously having a good game regardless. Sometimes it doesn't matter about him. Maybe just if you can get that score, then it's good anyway. Yeah, bloody hell, Noah Anderson. Definitely someone I'm looking at for sure. There you go. Noah Anderson, last 2 matches against Hawthorn, has polled all 6 Brownlow votes. So that's interesting to note. It's a good goal from Anderson, actually. That's pretty far out on the left foot, snap around the body. Good goal from Anderson. Brisbane Bloods, how do you buy plan? Excel, whiteboard, paper, and what do you have in that plan? I want to do one because I really need to come out of the BOS with a rank improvement of 5 to 8K. I haven't been an Excel guy. I don't really properly know how to use Excel. That's one I haven't really known. I haven't really gone out of my way to learn it. I've always just used Selby's buy planner, and I'll just make note of how many prems I got, how many players I've got in each buy, but then I'll do like how many players have I got in each buy. Then I'll also remove the guys like the Foss, the Boxall, guys that are still in the team, but probably won't contribute to my best 18. I'll just go, how many good scorers have I got that week? So don't know the exact number off the top of my head for each round, but that's generally how I do it. But yeah, and obviously I'll be sitting down over the next couple of weeks to really sort of nail down and nail my structure going forward. Dylan Moore, bit of a duck and a free kick against Rao. Don't know if that was a free kick, but Dylan Moore is over 50. Anderson is Anderson. He has a high ceiling and often doesn't ton. Yeah, I have Anderson in Supercoach. He's on 86, says Corey. Yep, going along very nicely. Genius move by Warple. Hence says Henry V. VC Sheasel, Captain Marshall, says Stanley. Yep, if you don't have Cherry, that would be my ideal moves. Yep, you can definitely do that. Could I get ahead and trade Clary down to Simpson and start Cleary, or just do Stone and Simpson and start Clary? I would trade Clary, but I'd be going up. I wouldn't be going down from Clary. Fast Break Frenzy. What are you doing, Fast Break Frenzy, if you got TDK? So I'm assuming you're going TDK to someone. I'd try and do TDK out and then Oliver out. So if you've got TDK, I'd do TDK to Marshall and then go Oliver down to Peatling if that's what you can do. I'm going to Holmes there. I would look at Peatling this week, but I need a defender, so. Matchup as Anderson, vice captain, says Harry Thomas. That's unfortunate. I definitely wouldn't have looked at the VC tonight. I've got Taranto for draft. Would you do Taranto for Walsh next week in a trade and draft? I probably would, And the reason I'd do it is because I think Walsh has got the high ceiling from what he can do this year. He's been more of an 80s guy this year, but I think that there's more scope for Walsh to improve, whereas I think Taranto is what he is. He'll get some low tons, he'll get the odd 115, 120 score, but then he'll have some 80s as well. So just in the Richmond team. So I'd probably look at doing it. Maybe if you can get something else, maybe if you can go Taranto for Walsh and maybe someone else, maybe you could look at doing something like that. That would be what you could consider. There's Dylan Moore with another tackle. Dylan Moore's looking good tonight. Dylan Moore from tonight is looking like the Dylan Moore that we're used to seeing. The guy that's consistently putting up solid scores. He's on 57. So there's another handball. So if he tons up tonight, he's going to be a pretty popular target because of how cheap he is. If you can get maybe 100k from him, maybe get you to 800k by his buy, you can trade him. And if I brought him in, I'd be able to trade into a midfielder. So I'd be definitely looking at Dylan Moore next week if he put up a good score. Caleb Daniel to Dylan Moore gets me about 100k, and then maybe a rookie up to Filippo. That would be potentially where I look. doing. Early thoughts of trades. Passes going well, says JR. Yes, he is. Yep, going along solid. Does the buy planner cost money, says Jim? Yeah, just it's through Moreira's Magic subscription. So I think pay $60 for the year or something. So I do it for Selby, support good cause and get the insights from the GOAT. So yeah, so I do that every year, and they've got the buy planner there and whatever. It's always useful to use. Which cheap ruckman do you reckon will gain a bit of cash in the next couple of weeks? Preference range of 6 to 750k, says Rippers. I don't think there's anyone. I think the best one's Briggs, but I haven't seen anything from Briggs to say he's going to turn it around. So I don't love anyone in that range. I'm just having a look now to see. And Nick Watson goal. It's a much-needed goal for Hawthorn there. Just having a look at the rucks in that price range. I don't think there's anyone I like. So Flynn's just over that, but Williams is playing with him at the moment. Briggs, I wouldn't look at Goldstein. I know I think he had like a 90 last week. But he had a 49 the week before, so probably not him. It's literally Briggs or Vicentini. They're the only two. And if you had to pick one, I'd go Briggs, but I don't love any of those guys. So, yeah, I wouldn't do it. But, yeah. How many players from each line count during the buys? Cheers. So it's best 18. So you need 18 scorers on your field from your 22. So your lowest 4 scores drop off. And that can include maybe 4 players that you've got that aren't playing that week. But it's best 18. So it's not really necessary from each time, but they've got to be on field. Those players have got. So you might have 8 defenders with 2 on the bench, but those 2 on the bench won't count for you. So there's Dylan Moore again getting heavily involved. I'm really liking what I'm watching from Dylan Moore in this game. There's Carl Amon. Is it a goal coming up for Carl Amon? Yep, goal for Carl Amon. So Hawthorn to kick a couple of quick ones back to 20 points, and Carl Amon goal for those that have got him. So you'd be pretty happy. Anderson up to 67 as well. Moore's on 61. Carl Amon 54. Oh, bloody hell, some good players I don't have that I've been keeping an eye on that are going pretty well tonight. But congrats to anyone that's got them. Is Matt Flynn someone we could look at for TDK? Has had multiple scores over 90, not a bad run, only 750k. Not for me. No, Bailey Williams in the team with him at the moment, so I wouldn't be going there. Fast Break Frenzy, yeah, currently doing TDK to Marshall and Stone to Simpson. Might need green dots in the buys, or do TDK to Marshall and Oliver to Martin or lower. I would prefer the last one. I would be doing Oliver to Martin, definitely. You can do Stone to Simpson next week. I think Oliver will lose more cash than what Simpson will gain this week. So I think for your overall team, I think Nick Martin's definitely better. You get points, you get probably more cash. I'll be doing the second option for sure, Fast Break Frenzy, and I'll be locking those two in because they're great trades. Corey Butledge, Anderson's had 20 touches, 9 contested, 9 clearances, 2 tackles, 85% efficiency so far and 1 goal. Yep, he's had an amazing first half. Wado 3 for the Wiz. Do you know any of the buy planners or resources that are free? Jim, I'm not actually sure. I don't know. Because I've never been a huge buy planner. I've normally just used a Word document, to be honest, and just color-coded the players for buys and done that. So that's probably the only way you can get a free version. I don't know. You'd have to probably ask around if there's any free versions. More on the CBA, says Harry. Yep, good to see. Max is pretty happy with Amon. Jack, Marek or Peatling in this week? Same break even. I wouldn't be going for Peatling, Jack. I wouldn't. Sorry, not Peatling. I wouldn't be going for Marek. Sorry. You've missed the big cash gen, and I'm looking at trading him out over the next few weeks as well. I'm an owner, so I wouldn't be targeting him. I'd be going Peatling definitely. Fast Break Frenzy. Anyone else instead of Martin? Any position? I feel like all Western scores are inflated from last week. No, Nick Martin. Fast Break Frenzy. I think Nick Martin's a great target. I really do. He's a defender forward. He's a top 6 forward. Really going to be really handy in the buys. Ran 16 buy. His scores were... people are saying that Martin's been up and down this year. He hasn't been as up and down, Ginniv another goal. So Hawthorn, that's 3 in a row. So they've really made up for those 3 goals that Gold Coast kicked. So close game again. What was I saying? Yeah, so the two scores where he was under a ton since his round 4 bye were a wet game against Collingwood where he copped a corky, and then he played lower game time. And then the week after, he got a lower score because he played lower game time because of the corky. But he said after last week that he's over the corky and he's good to go. So I think he's a really good player moving forward. I think he's at least 100-plus averaging player, which means he's underpriced. Blake Barrett, Chera to Bergman, Oliver to Martin, or Green, tick. I don't mind it. So Oliver to Martin is a tick for me. I'd probably go Martin over Green just for the flexibility and then the round 16 bye, which they both got. Chera to Bergman's interesting. If you don't have a rookie that can go down to get you the trade, I would tick it off. I personally want to watch one more week of Bergman, though. I don't mind going there this week, but I just want to see another week and then jump on him. I know we'd only have one more game before his bye, but I just want to see one more game. Looks like Flanders has copped a bit of a high hit. I think he went down. Is he okay? Yeah, Flanders okay. He's up now. Essendon has one of the best runs for sure for wing and halfbacks rest of the year. Yeah, Corey, good shout. Where I thought Hawks were dunces max. Take a screenshot, paste into paint, and colour code each buy round, says Henry V. Yeah, it's a good one. Kent Hodder, I can go up to Green, Dunkley, or Martin this week. All my lines are okay for players in terms of rooks. Who would you go? I think Dunkley scores the most for the rest of the year, but I would be going for Nick Martin still for the defender forward flexibility. He's got Richmond next week on Friday. There's another Dylan Moore tackle. So, yeah, I would be going for Nick Martin for the flexibility round 16 bye. I know all of them got round 16 bye, but I'd be going for Nick Martin personally. Cheers, Bell says Fast Break Frenzy. All good, mate. Rosie defender status. Draft stars have already updated his status, says Wado. Yeah, he'll get defender status. So that'll be in ahead of round 12, which is good. Right on the buys, which is perfect. Bells, do you reckon we're better without Crouch? Wonder if he'll be back in the Sandville rather than coming straight back in the Crow side. I don't know. It's a hard one to answer. I think he still works. I think Crouch is still best 22. So I think Rochelle and that are still more effective up forward. But I don't know. We'd have to see if Crouch comes back. I think Crouch is still best 22, but it's an interesting topic. VCC says Jack. I've got Cherry VC into Rowan Marshall captain. I've got a red dot in the final game, so that's what I'm doing. Hey, Bales, only just joined and unsure if you've discussed TDK. What do you think the players regarding that, says Lobo the Pro? So I've gone to Marshall. That's what I've done. I think Cherry's the number one if you don't have Tristan Cherry. I think if you've got him, I think Marshall's the next best. And then I think maybe someone like a Tim English is probably the third guy I like. I don't mind if someone to go a bit different, maybe go for Nank. Briggsy, I don't know if I could really sort of say to get him, but yeah, Cherry and Marshall are the top two for me. Rippers, I've changed from that Oliver to Holmes to Oliver to Peatling simply because I desperately need the cash and can make better upgrades next week. Yep, no, Rippers, that's a good move. Yep, if you need the cash for next week, then go get Peatling for sure. Any other DPP players you're looking at, Bales? I don't know, actually, Steve. I haven't really looked at who's going to get DPP, to be honest. Bradley Smith, fair to say conditions are suiting more tonight. Hope he can go on with it after half time, says Bradley Smith. Yeah, he's been good. Yep, is he on 70? He's been pretty close. 65. Yep, 11 touches, 5 tackles, which is good to see. We just wanted to see this from Dylan Moore all season, and he's actually starting to do it. So he's going to be an option next week if he continues, for sure. But let's go through the scores anyway. So Tuke Miller, top scoring, 73, going along very nicely. Noah Anderson's on 69. He's also going very good. And I've already got some messages from Jordy saying he better keep it going. But he's been good. Noah Anderson, 69. He's an option I'm looking at next week. John Noble, 68, is also going along well. John Newcomb's going well, 66. Dylan Moore, 65. Carl Lamont, 57. All going along really well. And they're pretty much all the guys I was looking at. Fiorini's on 48. Got him in draft. What else we got here? Closey, 41. Got him in draft as well. Sisley's on 40. Daniel Rowley's 35. Humphrey, 34. Flanders on 29. He's the only other one I was keeping an eye on. I'm definitely not looking at him anytime soon. He's just not getting it done. McDonald 24. Jesus, Warple's still down the list here. Just on 18. That's not good. No, oh, hang on. Warple's probably up the list then. Warple's on 37. Okay, that's not bad. 5 tackles does help that, obviously. So, but yeah, the guys, make sure you keep smashing like on the video. We got a fair few watching now, so make sure you guys do smash like. Let's try and get 50. We're 11 away from that. Obviously, our goal every stream is 100 likes. So if you can help us reach that goal, that would be very, very much appreciated. So if you got even if you got a second account, third account, whatever, make sure you please smash like. It would be very, very helpful. Fast break frenzy. Peatling or Martin could save cash. I'd still prefer Martin. It just depends what that 200k can do for you next week. Marco Dawson, the VC shout, loves the G. Yeah, he is. Yep, I've got him at number 7. The wet conditions is a slight concern. I think you get the tackles, though, to make up for it. I like him as a VC. He was going to be my VC up until TDK was out, which means I'm going Cherry to Marshall, but I like Dawson as a VC. Glad I didn't trade in Jath and glad I held Newcomb, says Billy Cap. Yep, yeah, you'd be very happy with those decisions so far, for sure. Also, thoughts on TDK to Jackson. Not for me, not Jackson. If Darcy was ruled out for longer, yep, but Darcy's a test. You can't trade into him. You can't. Is there a worry of Zach Reed missing? Also, Dacos in his pack. A bit of head noise this week. Cheers, says Blake Barrett. No, Dacos is fine. All the Collingwood track watchers said he trained all the week and looked good. So, no concerns with Dacos. Zach Reed, they seem pretty confident. He looked pretty upset afterwards. I think he's fine. They would have said. But then again, the AFL injury reporting lately has been pretty subpar, to say the least. CJ on 18 says Stallity. Is Took back, says Max. I wouldn't be looking at Took. I think people have passed him in that midfield. I think he's a good draft guy, but not a classic guy. Kent Hodder, I'm still so disappointed I started Rioli over Noble. Literally flipped a coin to decide between the two, says Kent Hodder. Yeah, unfortunate, mate. Unfortunate for that one. Jaiden Philippo buys to Coleman next week, says Wado. Yeah, it could be an option if Philippo and Coleman both go well. Warple somehow saved himself, says Henry V. Billy Cap, should I go bias to Philippo or fix a red dot to Sardell Hawley? If not Jackson, go Marshall. So Billy, yep, definitely go Marshall over Jackson. And I would probably go the rookie to maybe Cooper Simpson if Sardell Hawley is going to be the sub. I just want to see something from Philippi. But Bias is on the bench, and few people are worried that he'll be the sub. I don't think he will be. He's named on the bench every week pretty much, and he's not the sub. I think he's a top. I think Bias is 7th in the comp for kicking at the moment. So I can't see how he's going to be the sub if he's playing that well. Patton got dropped as well. While they have a halfback guy as a sub, I think he's 22, best 22. I think the sub will be Corey Warner, but just in case he is, maybe you go Bice to Philippo. But I'd be going the rookie out. Corey Badge, do you worry about Peatling as Berry's in the Stain 22 this week? I don't think so. Peatling's played really well last couple of weeks. I'm not as worried, but I guess it's something to keep note of. For sure. But yeah, make sure you guys keep smashing a like. We've got 41. I've got to quickly feed my dogs as always at halftime, but I'll be back in a couple of... Yeah, Florent could be sub as well. Okay, he could be. I don't think he will be either. I was also looking at blitz subs. I kind of like it, says Billy Cap. I would have, but Stanley's fit again, so I wouldn't be doing it. If Stanley was going to be out for more time, I was actually really keen on this play to the bye. But with the fact that Stanley could be back, I wouldn't be doing it. Low by the pro, Bice to Philippo and TDK to Marshall, or do I stick with the original plans and go Bice up to Holmes and Lindsay down to Simpsons and Sims cover for TDK this week? No, you can't have Sims covering for him. You've got to do the first one if you're looking between the two options. Billy Cat says no way Florent is sub. I don't think Florent will be sub. I think it'll be Corey Warner. I think Corey Warner's had a good run at it, but maybe they want to just rest him for this game. I think Corey Warner will be sub. I also think Hamling or like a Laddams or something. I know they're taller players, but just don't think Boss will be sub. But if he is, it's going to mean I'm going to have to play Matt Carroll at D6 this week, which is going to be really, really annoying. I would prefer not, or loop between Carroll and and him, which Carroll and Foss. Cleary could be sub. Cleary's named on field. I don't think Cleary will be sub, but again, he could. You just don't know. We'll find out tomorrow night. But yeah, I'll be back in a sec, guys. Just got to feed my dogs. But yeah, keep smashing a like on the video. That'll be fantastic if we can get 50 by the time I get back. So we just need 9 people to do it before I get back. So if you can do that and help us reach the goal, that'd be fantastic. Lower the pro. What if Boyd plays? Can I cover with him? No, you can't. No, I wouldn't be covering with. I think TDK, he's got to go. He has to go if you've got him. He just got to trade him out. So, all right, guys, we're back in 2 seconds. Give me a sec. damn, I was hoping I'd get back for the start of the quarter. Oh, well, that's right. We missed 40 seconds. When did I get? We got 47 likes, so we nearly hit that, the goal. But if you haven't smashed like on the video yet, then please do. We're nearly at 50, so obviously we're trying to get 100 every watch along, so we're nearly halfway there. Crew Badge, I still can't believe West Coast knocked back Nick Martin twice in his SSP process to make the AFL and Essendon snap him up. Yeah, I know. It's they'd be pretty happy if they had him, that's for sure. Anderson, a couple of touches already. If I was Teddy Card to stay at the Blues, says Jack. Tig 15, at least Moore and Amon are scoring some points for me this week. Yep, no, they've started well, Tig, so you'd be very happy. JR, any concerns Ross plays 2 rucks to combat Eagles 2 rucks? I don't think so, but if they did, you'd pivot away from obviously them, so obviously from Marshall, but I don't think they will. I think they'll play the 1. Tig, haven't done it against other 2 ruck teams, right? Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't checked yet. Rippers, get rid of Pryor or Trainer in defence? Geez, I'd probably hold both at the moment. Both are making cash. Obviously, Pryor just kickstarted his cash gen again. If you had to pick one, I'd rather keep Trainer on field, but I wouldn't have Pryor on field. I'd want Pryor for cash gen. I wouldn't trade either, personally. I think Pryor's going to make some more cash for you, and Trainer's a guy that you can solidly put at D6, I think, for the time being. So I wouldn't trade either Rippers, personally. Tig, I mean, Marshall could be rested if West Coast is a flogging. Yeah, true. Jack Vincent, I can't believe that the Gold Coast can play that good at Northern Territory and yet everyone else is shit. It's more because, the Darwin conditions are actually very similar to the conditions that Gold Coast play when they're at People First Stadium. So it's very similar conditions. That's why they're used to it, whereas every other team doesn't actually play in these conditions very often. So that's the reason why they're pretty successful there, because it's like a home ground advantage for them because of the conditions. Baxter, Marshall will be on 110 at 3/4 time, even if they do rest him in the last quarter. Yeah, that could be a good point. What have we got here? Tig, if you already have Cherry, ruck trade-ins are weird. Glad I did TDK to Cherry 2 weeks ago. Yep. Yeah, it's a good trade if you did that. I think Marshall's the next best option if you've got Cherry. That's what I would say. Anderson already got 3 disposals this quarter, says Corey. I traded Pryor to Hayes last week. Yeah, a few people did Pryor to Hayes, unfortunately, last week. So, yeah, Anderson up to 79 already. Far out. Big score coming, I reckon. Ben Kingmark. Chabby Bell, is Nick Martin best primo to trade in or other options like Green, Jackson or Holmes? I like Martin out of those guys. I would then have Green at 2, Holmes 3, Jackson at 4. I'm not keen on Jackson. If Darcy was out for longer than just this week, I'd say go for it. But the fact he was a test this week, I'm just not going into it. No way. But yeah, Green's good. I like Holmes for value and the round 16 buy. I prefer Green out of the 2, so I've got Green at 2. But Martin's my favourite out of those 4, personally. Traded in more 4 weeks ago, so might finally get some rewards, says Tim Hall. Yep, yeah, you'd be happy if you trade, if you're getting this reward finally, because he's been pretty poor since then. But Moore's on 71, so going along nicely, and definitely a trade target for those people that don't have him. Mr. Weasel, Anderson better get 200 repay my face, says Mr. Weasel. Double Dummy, evening, mate. G'day, Double Dummy. Haven't seen you around for a while, mate. Hope you're going well. PP, TDK to Marshall and Powder Filippo, or Lindsay to Kako, or Lindsay/Kako to Sard and Simpson. Well, TDK's got to go, PP. He's out, so it's got to be the first option out of those ones. Don't know about Powder Filippo. I'd probably prefer to go like a Kako to Simpson or Kako to Sardo Hall if you can make that work instead. I'd prefer that, because I'm assuming Kako's on your bench. Did Calvinator send his log on details to Selby this year? Oh, yeah, no, he's having a very good year, Baxter. Good old Calvin is having a very, very good year. So good to see. Good to see the Traders boys going pretty well. I'm good. My team sucks, says Double Dummy. Oh, that's unfortunate, mate. My team sucks as well. I'm ranked like 13k, so I'm pretty disappointed with how my season's gone. But still a lot of the season to go. Still, hopefully, I can get my team back on track. There's Ginnivan. Davidson might be a good trade. 2 more, as I don't have Petrarca, so should be good for round 15. Yep, Corey, that could be a play for sure. What do we got? Do a quick score update. Refresh the scores. Not too many movements since I last did it. So now I don't know if exceptions is still watching. I'm actually just going to have a look and see if that play of Manank and Martin actually works. Let me have a look. Can I afford it? How much have I gone down, by the way? So in a half of footy, I've gone down about 700 spots, having no one. So if I edited Marshall out for Nank. Oh, I'm 3K short. Oh, that's annoying. I would have actually half entertained it. That's disappointing. If I could have gone Nank and Martin, I would have actually potentially considered it. But the fact I can't, there's probably no point. If Rob had a good run, I'd consider him, but Rob's got a pretty up and down run. Yeah, no, I've got to go Marshall. Marshall's got to be the guy. Never mind. Yeah, I thought that might have been a play. That would have been really handy, actually, if I could have done it. Because Nate would have been solid. And I could have got Nick Martin. That's annoying. Cool. Sorry, just messaging a couple of people just then. Kent Hodder, it's a next week question, but are we diving into Mills if he goes well in a half in the twos this week? No, not for me, Kent. No. I think you can, if he plays next week, he can go in with a bit more confidence the week after, because the week after is round 12, and best 18 will protect you a bit if you bring him in and he looks good in something were to happen. But I think I wouldn't be getting him next week. It'd be a week after, because round 12, it's a perfect week to bring in some of those guys, mid-prices and underpriced guys through the buys, and you can trade them at their buy, worst case. But best case, you hold them, they can make some cash for you. Good mark from Chol there. Riley Thompson, TDK to Gawn and Cleary to Simpson, or TDK to Marshall and Kako to Simpson? Had such good trades until TDK got injured. Definitely the second one there, Riley. I think Gawn's too overpriced, and you're getting rid of a worse rookie. And I think you're actually getting a decent upgrade with Marshall. So, yep, I'd be going the TDK to Marshall and Kako to Simpson option. Solly Stalwart, snooze fest this game, no players in this game. It's funny how it feels like that. Trey, I'm pretty sure, Trey, that's your account that's saying there. But yeah, it is normally like that when you don't have a player. But I'm finding it a bit more interesting because I'm looking at Anderson, I'm looking at Dylan Moore, Carl Amon. I was looking at Sam Flanders, but Flanders has done nothing to pique my interest at the moment. So, but like Moore, I could consider bringing him in next week. Same with Noah Anderson. There's a few guys that I might bring in next week, or at least in the next couple of weeks. Mine starts with a 3 and it isn't 3K. I've lost about 10,000 places in just poor bench choices. Says Double Dummy. No, sorry, mate. Obviously, tough year. Hopefully, you can have a good back half of the year. I've almost gone up 1.1K this game with just Amon. Yeah, I'd assume because a lot of people don't have many in this game. But no, it's good, still good, Corey, to go up some spots. Finn has gone to Noah Anderson. Has he really? So is Finn doing a bit of a tagging job? Wouldn't shock me because Anderson was very, very effective in the first half. There's Dylan Moore with a kick. Can only get to Sinclair with Lindsay and Garcia's out. Martin in for Richmond if I don't do this round. Maybe if Bice's subs is tied. I don't mind Sinclair. Yep. Sinclair's a good get if you can get to him. I also like Holmes. It's a bit cheaper. Josh Dacos. But Jack Sinclair's got a good matchup this week and should be good. Bruce shouldn't have paid up for Dacos, Bell, says Harry Thomas. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you letting me know that. I know I shouldn't have paid up for Nick Dacos. I said this year I wasn't going to pay up for anyone. I was going to keep it consistent this year and not pay up for anyone, and unfortunately I gave in. Nick Dacos is pretty easy, though, to give into, unfortunately. So, but, oh well, is what it is. Made a mistake. I've got to live with it. Dacos, I was going to get him at some point anyway, so... Yeah, but obviously it meant it means I can't get Nick Martin this week, and means that just the upgrades I'd get, I might have to not get the ones I want. But yeah, oh well. I was going to get Nick Dacos at some point. I'd get to any premium mid defender or forward. Who would you say are the best targets, and can you suggest someone more unique that would be hitting a 6? I still think Nick Martin's not as popular, and I think he's the best target if you can get anyone this week. Defender forward. Bulldogs at Marvel then goes to Richmond. Round 16 bye. Defender forward flexibility through the buys. I'd just be going for him. Oi! Ben Long. Great mark. Over Sicily then. Good one there. I'd go for Nick Martin there. Brisbane Bloods. Like, there are some other guys, but I don't really know who'd be hitting a 6. I think Nick Martin is a good target. If I could bring in anyone this week, it'd be Nick Martin. Anderson's really good tog, says Harry Thomas. Good to see Watchalong's back, says B. Young. Yes, mate. Yep, very happy to have him back. Top Gold Hawk, says Jack. B. Young, don't look at Anderson, though, as an owner since the early rounds, his first decent game. Oh, but it's because he's cheap. That's why. He's cheap, and at the moment, there's not as many midfielders that got good value, so that would be why I'd be looking at him. Dan Moore dropped a sit of 15 out, says Ty. Guess he did, yeah, I saw that, so he could be on a lot bigger score than what he is. So Dylan Moore's definitely passed the eye test tonight, for sure. Done everything I've wanted him to tonight. So he's definitely someone I'm keeping on my watch list. He might get it here. No aim on, just ignored him. Probably should have used him actually in the end. He's someone I'm definitely watching. Doesn't look like Finn's gone to Anderson. Foster, Suddo, Hawley, or Chera to Warner or Peatling, says Josh Hopkins. If it fixes your buy structure, you could do Chera to Peatling. Warner's probably the better play in terms of longer term, probably keeper, but Peatling should make some cash. It probably help your buys as well, going Chera out, but I think that Chera will still go well this week and next week. It's just if your buys aren't looking great, maybe you get off Chera this week to fix it, Josh. But yeah, probably buys will determine that one for you. Because if you go Foster, Suddo, Hawley, you might just be getting a guy that's not making cash to another guy that might be subbed this week. So that's my worry. Bailey, Lolacidis, Bales, Cherry and El Hawley, or Briggs and Merritt / Shees. First trade is TDK and Hayes out. Second is TDK and Garcia. Well, the better combo is Briggs and Sheasel, or Merritt, whichever one you go for. Merritt's got a great buy. And maybe because Sheasel's not playing defence, you might be able to get away with not having him this week. Maybe go Merritt, Briggs and Merritt. Like, Briggs and Merritt is a great combo. And I would normally say I'd prefer that. I'm assuming it's just you're going a rookie to start El Hawley. I'm assuming El Hawley's not. If El Hawley's on field, I would definitely rather Briggs and Merritt. I just don't think I could really push the case for bringing Briggs into your team. He's just been so poor. But it's an option if you're getting Merritt. It is an option. I'd still prefer to go Cherry and whoever. I don't know who would be on your field, Bailey, if you go in the Cherry option. If you're going, because I'd definitely rather Cherry. So who's on your field along with Cherry? That would be my question. Who's more likely to put up a better score, Marshall or Gawn? This week, Marshall against West Coast, for sure. Like, Gawn could go well still, but the better matchups with Marshall. Kent Hodder, I'm picking nobody. Top 5,000 has many or any tonight, up 1,400 spots with just John Newcomb. Yep, that's good. Yep, and John Newcomb's going pretty well tonight. So, yeah, you'd be happy enough with that. Flanders handball. Finn's definitely standing with him at stoppage, says Corey. Yep, so something to watch if that's a tag. Maybe if Anderson doesn't get to a massive score, but I guess we'll see. What's happened to the CJ role change, says Studley? A few people flagged it, but with Scrimshaw back in the team, that's the big change. Because Scrimshaw was out the last 2 weeks, and that's where CJ's gone big. So that is the reason why he's not scoring as well. I already have Martin in my forward line, says Brisbane Bloods. So hard. There's so many guys that I could recommend. Brisbane Bloods, and I obviously don't know I can't see your whole team. I can't remember, Brisbane Bloods, are you a Patreon member? Because I was going to say, if you are, you get, if you're on one of the paid Patreons, you get a free team review every week. So I was going to say, if you were a Patreon member, I could look at your whole team, and then I could give you some options looking at your whole team. I'm not sure if you are or not. I don't know. Hawks coming to the fro, says Jack. Harry Thomas, Deer being quiet. Yep, yeah, first game back, so yeah, thought so, yeah. But Hawthorn definitely improving. It's only a 9-point game now. And Chol almost taking the mark there over Collins. There's Kaushadir, who we were just talking about. And out of bounds. 6.5 minutes to go before three-quarter time, sorry. B. Young, I think Max Holmes and Jack Sinclair with the DVP could be really handy, that in the same bracket as Anderson. Using these guys in the mid could be a good strategy, I think, for the buyers. Yeah, I'm going Holmes at this stage this week, so yeah, I'm looking at that as well. Josh Dacos, another one that could be like that. Do I hop off Chera? Got 6 players in the first buy, says Steve-O. Yeah, if you got 2 guys in the first buy, I think Chera's a guy you can trade. He's done a good job for you. If you can upgrade into a good player, I think you can do that. And Newcomb's got a free kick. A bit soft, that one. Oh, Holman, relax, mate. Seriously? I don't really know. Newcomb was just giving him like the talky talk sort of thing. It was there, but is it soft? No, it's high. Like, Took still grabbed him near the neck, so it is high, but... Evening all. I'm regretting not VC Anderson, but I thought the Hawks had a tagger. Traded out TDK and bias. In comes Cherry as captain and Kitty early. Well, Karen, you've got... Apparently, if people are saying that Finn McGuinness is standing next to Noah Anderson at the moment at stoppages, so... And goal for the Hawks. They are back to within 3 points. And John Newcomb's having a good quarter. In comes Closey. In comes Ainsworth. They're all into Newcomb. Don't really get why they're getting into him. He's just kicked a goal. Don't know why Holman's the one is the most upset here, and Holman's standing over him, chatting to him. Very interesting. Bit of a Barney here. Don't really think Mac Andrews should be getting involved. He's been playing pretty shit the last month, so he really can't be saying anything. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Meek and Lindsay out for Marshall and Harvey Langford. I wouldn't be bringing in Harvey Langford AFL edits. You've missed the cash gen from him. So... yeah, I wouldn't be bringing in Harvey Langford. He's been great for those owners that got him, but I wouldn't be bringing him in now. Yeah, he's got a game here. Back to 3 points. Gold Coast have really let Hawthorn come back in. The lead that Gold Coast had, they should not be letting Hawthorn get back into the game. But we got a game back on again. Flanders, you actually going to do anything, mate? Like, you just run around and do nothing. Ainsworth and goal to Gold Coast. They get that goal straight back. Bailey Olasitis fielding rookies currently are Reed and Bice with trainer Loop. Davidson and Garcia haven't been able to get rookies off field last 2. It's because had Sweet last week in their TDK this week. Yeah, frustrating, Bailey, that one there. Oh, big cut there for Tom Barris there. Right on the eyebrow, I reckon. Riley Thompson, is this one of the last weeks to get in Martin? I don't think so. He's just not going to be as much value moving forward. Amon doing nothing. Lucky he kicked that goal, says Max Bosm. Yes, what's he up to now? Is he still on 62 or is he a little bit higher? 68. Yeah, it is in Darwin. Let's not forget that. It's probably wasn't expecting a massive score. If he can go and get 100 for you, still be happy. Still plenty of time. Anyone else forced into fielding Lindsay with the TDK news, says Henry V. I was fielding Lindsay before the TDK news, so just doesn't really change much for me. It literally, TDK being out for me just means I can't get Nick Martin this week, who I was getting, which is frustrating because I think Martin's going to be a really good option, but yeah, unfortunate. And Ainsworth again, not quite. Couldn't quite take the mark there. There's Jath, got the handball away. There's Amon with a kick, goes to over 70. Meek and Lindsay out for Marshall and Langford, good trade. Or should I trade Cleary instead of Lindsay for Harvey Langford? I just wouldn't be getting in Harvey Langford AFL edits. I just don't think you've missed the boat. He's over 600k now. He's made good cash. You're jumping on him. If you're jumping on him now, you're going to want him to go over 80 from now to be a good pick, which I don't think he will consistently be able to do that. He'll have some good games. I think he's more like a 70 guy, which is not that far off where he's priced at, so I personally wouldn't be doing it. Low by the pro. I have no idea what to do with Lindsay and Bice and TDK with not much cash. Any ideas? Well, I'm fielding Lindsay and Bice this week. I don't know if that obviously gives you any comfort, but TDK has to go. Anyone's got TDK, he has to be traded. Like no one's got any cover for him, and I wouldn't be just using Sims or any of these guys that might put a 40 up. You've got to bring in a Marshall or a Cherry or an English or someone like that that's a solid ruckman. You can't be going the buys holding, because they didn't say that TDK is definitely out for 1 week. They said it could be longer. So I would just be trading TDK. He's done what he needed to. He's got some good scores, made a little bit of cash. Obviously, he's priced it near where he started at, but some good scores throughout the year. I'd be trading. Are we scared of the Bergman tag as a Holmes owner? I don't think so, because if Holmes gets tagged, he'll go back into defence, which I don't see Bergman following him into the forward line. I think that Bergman might go with Bailey Smith. That's the guy I think will tag. I don't think Holmes will get tagged this week. But who knows? Not a great match against Port anyway, but there you go. Getting adverts to see that the IPL was back on Saturday night. Finally. Good. I'm happy that's back. Anyone hopefully gets the tons, says Corey. Luke, which is better? The first is Hayes to Simpson to field Levi, Reed, and Luke between Bice and Trainer. Second option is Bice to Filippo fielding Trainer and Reed. Second trade is TDK to Ryan Marshall or Jackson. So I'll be doing TDK to Marshall. And I think if you can still do Hayes to Simpson and TDK to Ryan Marshall, I'd do that. And if you can loop between those guys, I think it's great. So you're in a good spot, Luke, if you can do that. So I'd be doing the TDK to Marshall. And, if you can do Hayes to Simpson, I would do that. So it looks like a free kick against Gold Coast. Don't know why Gold Coast have got to be this tough team. Like, I don't understand it. Like, it's a bit silly, but yeah. Looks like Morrison lining up for goal. Lawler or Lindsay on field this week, says Double Dummy. I'd probably back in Lawler with a better matchup. If you can loop, if you've got like a St Kilda red dot though, Double Dummy, and you can loop Lawler and see what he does for the first 3 quarters, then I would do that. But yeah, it depends what you can do. I'd back in Lawler though, probably add 2 with a better matchup. Roy Thompson, not looking like we are going to get 100 likes today. We got 52, yeah. We were like this last week, and we still got to 100. So if you are watching, obviously Roy said there, make sure you guys smash a like so we can get to 100 likes again. We're 48 away, so make sure you guys keep smashing a like on the video. What's happened to Sam Flanders this year, says Murphy. Mate, he's just not hardly any midfield time. He's just like this guy that does nothing. I really don't understand. I really don't. With those rookies I mentioned above, Bales, would you take the risk on a Briggs Merritt combo, taking one of those off, or still go the Cherry El Hawley safer picking? It's getting out Hayes. If you're trading Hayes to get El Hawley on the bench, I'd go for Cherry. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'd do the Cherry option. I was just saying Briggs and Merritt's a good combo, but I'd still prefer go and get Cherry. Because if Briggs fails, how are you going to get him up in the buys? That's the question. So I would go for Cherry and El Hawley or Simpson. Have that rookie there and go Hayes out. Chris, I feel like holding hasn't really worked out this year. Only example I can think of is Oliver. I don't even think holding him was a good one. So I don't think it was good at all. Bailey, and you make a good point though. Holding this year hasn't actually been very good. I don't know what happened there. Free kick for, was it Anderson maybe? Holding Lindsay hasn't worked either, says JR. Oh, it did up until he went when he went 98 was good, but then after it's been a little bit poor. So I still think it's fine. Holding, he's a rookie, so it's different. Bailey McDonald's been subbed into the game, so someone's been subbed out. Cowshed Deer's been subbed out apparently. Thank you, Corey. Baylor says you can't hold when it's a ruck anyways, Chris, since there's no cover like there is in other lines. Yes, agreed. No ball getting it done. Who's that, Baxter? Who's that? I'm not sure. If I've just had a mental blank. Cleary or Lindsay to anyone under 640k can play any position with DPP. I don't think there's anyone under 640k. AFL edits I'd be getting in. I think I would just not prefer to trade Cleary or Lindsay. I'd prefer to trade a bench rookie down and go to someone and bank a bit of cash for next week. I just don't like the 640 or under areas. I like some guys above that. Like I like a Bergman, or if you could have got a Dylan Moore this week, or a Filippo, but they're about 30, 40k more than that. So I wouldn't be looking at anyone in that price range, AFL edits. Looping El Hawley sadly says double down. Well, if he's the sub, put Lawler if you can and loop him, because I think El Hawley could be the sub. Steve-O, who should I get in for Chera because of the buys? Holmes, Setterfield, or Sinclair? I like Setterfield as a pod, but Sinclair and Holmes for DPP. I like Holmes the most. I don't love the matchup this week, but Holmes moving forward, I prefer. There's Dylan Moore again. That's a good kick to Blake Hardwick there as well. This could be for the lead, actually, if Hardwick kicks this goal, which is annoying because I tipped bloody Gold Coast. I'm likely double upgrading next week, says Double Dummy. Chris, totally agree, mate. Yep. Can't remember what it was for, Chris, but I'll take that. Ryan Thompson, short playing this week. I think so. Yep, he's listed on the team, and they said he should play, so have some cover, though, if he doesn't. Love your chat, bro, says Jack Vincent. Thank you, mate. Ryan Thompson, if I captain someone that isn't playing, then emergency, my two bench players will the highest score count. If you've got two bench emergencies in the same line, you'll get the lowest score of the two, unfortunately. Corey Badge, holding Stewart short hasn't worked this year. Yeah, holding Stewart and short hasn't worked. Yeah, that's a good point. What's happening to Cowshed Deer, says Santos. It's his first game back. He just got subbed out being managed because it's his first game back from I think he had a back stress fracture in his back or something like that. So, yeah. Are you not hot on Kitty Coleman, says B Young? I am, just not this week. I don't want to jump on. I've too many times I've jumped on someone first game and it's not worked. So I want to see it first, because he is the prime candidate to either one, be the starting sub because he's on the bench, or two, probably the more likely option is start the game but then be subbed out of the game. So I'm not looking at jumping on him. I want to see a game first. Susie, hi Bales, can I go TDK to Cherry and Marais to Simpson? Is that okay? Then I can enjoy Saturday Night Watchalong with the Big X. Susie, 100%. Tick. Lock those in. Marais to Simpson, great. TDK to Cherry, great. Lock them in and enjoy the Big X on Sunday afternoon. Chris, Caleb Daniel to Chad Warner, TDK to Marshall. Is that a double tick? Yeah, that's fine. Tick. I don't know if actually, Daniel to Warner is okay. I just don't think it's much of an upgrade. It's more of a sideways. I would probably do TDK to Marshall. I'd hold Daniel for the week unless you're really heavy on the round 12 buy and you need a trade. I'd probably just do a rookie to Simpson or something and do TDK to Marshall and then upgrade Daniel next week, maybe to like Nick Martin, or even go to Dylan Moore or something like that next week. I'm just not sold on Chad Warner as a pick. Like, he might go big this week and I might look silly, and if you're hot on Chad Warner, Chris, then do it. I just think he's more of the high 80s, low 90s guy, which is okay, but I think there are better forwards that we're going to have in our forward line. So that's just my thoughts on it. How do I loop, says Riley Thompson. Loop, who are you looping with? Well, it depends where you're looping. To loop, You put someone on the bench, one person on the bench, Riley, put them emergency. If you like their score, then you put a red dot on and bench someone that you don't want on field. So, like, if you're looping between Lindsay and Sardell Hawley scores an 80, and you go, okay, I want to bench Lindsay, take the 80 for Lindsay and get Sardell Hawley score on field, put a red dot on field, and you get the score. But that red dot's got to play after at least one of those players play. And if you're doing the captain loop, that's the same thing. You VC someone, if you like their score, you put a red dot on field, put someone on the bench as emergency, and then you get your VC score, and then you get the emergency score later on. But make sure you don't have two emergencies in the same line because you'll get the lower score. Is there any chance Kausha will be back in the game? No, Santos, subbed out, so that he's done for the day. Bay Lolocitus, I hope Bont doesn't get a 150 this week. 2 weeks in a row, Cave Daniel was going to him, but Forced Trades had other ideas. Yeah, I like Bont after round 12 bye, so I'm hoping he doesn't go up as much so we can get him. AFL edits, I just had enough for Meek and Lindsay out for Marshall and Filippo in. Happy days. Thanks, Bales. Love the content. Yeah, mate. Okay, they're good trades. I like them. I think that's probably where you go to. If you can do that, I don't mind those. And thank you, mate. Appreciate the kind words at the end there. Low by the pro, Campo to Simpson and Cherry to Marshall. I'm assuming you mean TDK. If you're not trying Cherry, that's not, or TDK to Marshall and Stone to Simpson. I'm assuming you're meaning TDK to Cherry. Campo to Simpson and TDK to Cherry. Means I can loot Cleary on tomorrow night, and if with Stone if he goes well, or TDK to Marshall and Stone to Simpson. More cash next week, but can't loop on Cleary. Well, you're not trading Cherry, so if that is right, Lobo. So you're going Campo to Simpson and then TDK to Cherry. Means you can loop, or you go TDK to Marshall and Stone to Simpson. I'd go the first option. Because you can loot Cleary, get rid of a red dot, and you get Tristan Cherry. So, first option for me, Lobo. But it's got to be going TDK to Cherry. TDK to Marshall, and then you're going Campo to Simpson. Okay, so you're doing TDK to Marshall anyway, but you're either doing Stone to Simpson or Campo to Simpson. If Campo to Simpson means you can loot Cleary, I would do that one. I'll do that one. Corey Badge, seems like Flanders may be the highest cash loss player at this rate for the year. Yep, agreed. Let's go. Sun says, that's the name of the person. Double dummy, and make sure you set the red dot as captain if you want the VC score. Yes, double dummy. Thank you. Yep, that's another good point. Yeah, that's what I meant. Sorry, TDK to Marshall, both options. Thanks, Bales. All good, Low the Pro. Good to help, mate. Happy to help, mate. Roy Thompson's Trelaw and Goulden in this week. Trelaw's out for a few weeks with a calf niggle, and Goulden apparently might be back around their bye. So Goulden's someone maybe keep an eye on back half of the year. Chris might have to get rid of Garcia. Could hold Daniel for the Richmond matchup. Yeah, Chris, you could do that for sure. What do you mean by red dot? Says Riley. Someone that's not playing, that's not in the selected side for the week. That's a red dot. So if you go to the AFL app and there's like a red dot on next to their name and not a green dot, it means that they're not playing. Bailey Locitus, Boyd name extended bench. That would absolutely ruin my season of Marshall a late out, but surely not. No, Boyd's been an emergency every week. He's just named emergency there. They play Sandringham play Sunday morning. So if he's playing in that game, there's no worries about that. So we'll just have to see. Might have to, said it before. Okay, let's go through the scores. We didn't actually go through the scores at 3/4 time. So you got Newcomb at 94. He's been very good since quarter time. Top scoring player of the game. Noah Anderson's on 91 as well, so he's tracking for a pretty good score here. A lot of the ball, just not many marks or tackles, but the marks obviously down being in Darwin. John Noble, 89, good score for him. Took, 86. Dylan Moore's on 82, so Dylan Moore is a tick tonight at the moment. He could be a real option for us next week. Carl Amon's on 74. Slowed down a bit that quarter, but if he can still get 100, you'd be happy with that. Closey 69, got him in draft. Yeah, actually, Brent Fiorini was quiet that quarter. Rioli 64. Fiorini there 62. So he's been quiet since half time. Only 14 points that quarter. Warple 45. He didn't do much that quarter. Sisley 45. McDonald 45, Flanders 45. God, there's a lot of 45s here. Anyone else of note? Jas on 27. Jeez, that's bad. If anyone jumped on him, you'd be pretty upset with that score. There's nothing worse than bringing a player on a Thursday night and then putting up a bad score for you to ruin the rest of the weekend. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, Flanders, I just don't know what he's doing. Like 12 touches, 1 mark. If he's playing this high half forward role, you'd think that he'd get more involved in the plus sixes and that around the ground, but just not getting involved. But yeah, Noah Anderson and Dylan Moore, the two that have impressed me so far a lot tonight. Still a quarter to go. Double dummy. Thought Mills was playing VFL soon. Maybe a future target. Also, if he comes back, who does he affect more, Roberts or Bice or both? So double dummy. I don't think he affects either. I think he plays midfield. And he's playing a half in the VFL this week. So, yeah. Thank you very much, Stu, who I know put a comment in the chat earlier. Just become a Patreon member. Thank you very much, mate. Very much appreciated. If you'd like a team review, mate, then yeah, let me know or send me a DM on Patreon. I can give you a code for Ask Beyond Q and have a look at your team, mate. So very much appreciate you becoming a Patreon. If anyone else wants to become a Patreon member, then head to the link in the description or patreon.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics. Be very much appreciated if you can do that. We're up to 63 likes as well, so we're 37 away from 100. So we're slightly under on track at the moment, but if you guys can smash a like and get us to 100, that'd be very, very much appreciated. But yeah, so yeah, double down. I think Mills coming back in. He plays half a game in the VFL this week. That's been confirmed, and I think him coming back won't affect anyone because he'll play midfield, I'd imagine. There's a Noah Anderson tackle. Bales speaking from experience on Dacos Thursday night. Thank you, mate. Thank you for reminding me of that. Riley Thompson, who do you have playing right now, says Riley. No one. I've got no one in this game. So able to relax tonight, not have to worry about any bad scores or anything like that. I think I've got Bice and Roberts tomorrow, and then I'm looping Cleary and Matt Carroll on the bench just to see if any go well, and if they do, then I'll play them over Lindsay. If both pop like 80s, then I might be able to bench like a Trainer and Lindsay. But I don't anticipate both going. I think Cleary's the more likely out of the two to go better. So, Jordan Lane, do you know what your trades will be this week, Bales? Yeah, so at the moment I'm doing TDK out to Rowan Marshall, and then I'm going Clayton Oliver to Max Holmes. I don't love the sideways switching, but I've got to get rid of Clayton Oliver. Go get Max Holmes. Round 16 buy. I need a defender after trading short out last week. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah, I would love Nick Martin. My original trades, if TDK was to play, was to go rookie down and then get a Cooper Simpson or Sardell Hawley. Probably would have been Simpson if he wasn't the sub on Saturday. And then I would have gone Clayton Oliver to Nick Martin. But unfortunately, I can't do that. Double dummy. I'm only interested in Flanders if he goes back to playing off half back. He doesn't look right up forward. Yeah, agreed. He just does nothing for the team in this role. I just don't like him in this role. I really don't. I don't know what Dimmer's doing with him. Like he's a midfielder and he's just stuck as a forward player. Like he's not a forward player. So yeah, it's frustrating. But either he's going to be very cheap at the end of the year or he's going to be cheap next year. I guess we'll see what happens. But I thought he was good in the role last year, but they've got rid of him. I just don't really understand it. But anyway, Louise Mason, hey, Bales, just smacked a like on the vid. Love your content. Fingers crossed we can get to 100. Thank you, Louise. Very much appreciate doing that there. And anyone else that's liked it, there's 64 legends that have done that so far. So if anyone hasn't smashed a like yet, please do. But Louise, very much appreciate the like and thank you for the kind words there. Very much appreciated. Double dummy, Newcombe, my only one tonight, finally scoring after 2 dead weeks for me. Yep, he's gone well. Moyle been subbed out, says Corey. Bailey Lolicitas, my fortnight has been going from 11k rank to 24k rank, then last week back to 12k. Started at 4k. This year has been a roller coaster. Yeah, right. Wow, okay. I've just been sort of stuck. What did I go? I started the year at about 22k, Made my way up every single week except last week. Got myself up to 8,200, then had obviously an awful week. Dropped back to 13K. So I'm really hoping that this week I can get back to maybe 8.5K, 8K, have a really good week. Whether I do or whatever, that's another thing, but that's the goal. That's what I'm hoping for. So is Josh Battle done? He's taking off his strapping and stuff. Looked a bit frustrated there, so I'm not sure. Low by the Pro, don't have a loop for either El Hawley or Lindsay. If Sard isn't the sub, do I field over Lindsay? I think I'd still back in. I think Lindsay's ceiling's higher. I know he's been poor last 2 weeks, but I think I'd still back in Lindsay. Because if Lindsay's on the hot wing, he can score really well. He's just been on the cold wing for 2 weeks in a row. The role seems like it was in 2023. Yeah, it does. And he's just not getting involved at all. There's Amon getting it back from Newcomb there. Do you like the look of the Berg, says Jordan Lane, or Filippo better? I think if round 12 doesn't affect you, I think Bergman's a better buy this week. I think Filippo, once we see it, will be the guy we want. So it depends, I guess, is your round 12 buys too heavy? Are you happy to take the risk? I think Bergman will stay in this midfield role. He looked good last week. But Filippo's a guy that we're probably going to get at some point, so maybe you just want to bring him in instead. So it's up to you. I like both. Filippo's got a good matchup against West Coast. I'd probably go Bergman this week, Filippo next week, but it could, literally flip next week. Louise Mason, also thanks for answering my question as the last one in the Q&A. Very much appreciated. All good, Louise. Happy to help. Always happy to answer questions. And if your question gets answered, then great. If it doesn't, I apologise. We get a lot of questions. We're doing, obviously, our pre-lockout chat tomorrow, 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Perth time, if you'd like your question answered. Or if you'd like a guaranteed answer to your question, as I said, you've become a Patreon member at patreon.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics. And we're up to 68 likes as well, so we are 32 away from 100. So if you can smash a like on the video to get us to 100 and keep the streak alive, that would be fantastic. Corey Blade, I was 1.8K 2 weeks ago. Had 2 bad weeks, went to 9K and back to 4.4K this week. Well, Corey, you're giving me a lot of hope, mate. You're giving me some hope that I might be able to salvage. I'm like, as much as people probably think I'm out of the contention for a hat, I don't think I'm completely out of it. If I can have a really good buy round period, and if I think my goal would be, if I was to be in line to maybe go top 100, I'd probably have to be top 3,000 by the end of the buys, maybe top 2K, which I think I can do. People have said they've jumped from 15K to 4K in a week. Like, if I can have a good week this week and jump right up, I'm not going to say it's over yet, but it's not looking great because I don't have good team value, and it's been a bad season. So, top 1,000 would be fantastic from this position if I can get there. But top 100 would obviously be fantastic, but I just don't know if I can get there. But I'm not going to say that's impossible. So, thoughts on TDK to Cherry and Daniel to Martin, says Marco. Trades of the night. There you go, right there. Trades of the night. Fantastic. TDK to Cherry's a great trade. And the fact you can still go Caleb Daniel to Nick Martin at the same trade is fantastic. Trades of the night, Marco. Go to you. Maltesing. Hi, Bales. Not sure who to choose for an on-field. Cleary versus the Dogs. Cleary of the Dogs variety, or Hewitt for West Coast. Is there a way you can see what Cleary scores first? Like, can you put like a red dot on for him and see what he does? If I had to pick one, Hewitt's got the high ceiling, and he's got the Saints. Cleary's got Essendon. It's a very hard one. I don't love either, but I also think both could actually go okay. There's a goal for Gold Coast to Ben Long. Is that back out to 9 points? Yeah, Maltese, let me know if you can loot. If you can, I'll do that. Louise Mason, even though trade plans didn't go... Oh, no, Louise, delete that message. Delete the last couple. Buys often, there is big moves need to be made. Buys is often where the big moves need to be. Okay, cool. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right, Dole Dummy. Louise Mason. Also, what is your VC and C for this week? Mine is VC Cherry C Marshall. Well, snap, Louise. That snap for me. That's exactly who I've got as my VC and C. I did my captain's video earlier today, so if you want to check it out, feel free. But I've got Cherry at 1, Marshall at 3, and that's what I'm doing. But just remember, you have a hat chance for AFLW Fantasy for sure. Well, Corey, I hope so, because I should have had one last year. Unfortunately, not captaining Mim Strom when I really just should have backed it in. I should have done it, but yeah. Oh well. It's a soft free. It said double dummy. I didn't actually see the free. It probably was, but I tipped Gold Coast, so I want Gold Coast to win. But yeah, I don't have any red dots as Maltesing. Okay, yeah. So if you had to back, is there any other option you got Maltesing for rookies, or are they the only two you're tossing up between? Anderson going big here, says Corey. Yes, he is. What's he up to now? He's on 100. Yes, he's going on very, very nicely. Still 15 minutes to go. I know Jordy's happy. He said he wants at least a 110, so only 10 points away from that, which is good. So good for Jordy. Almost a certain goal seems a massive penalty for a Tiggy Touchwood free kick. Golden Guys, thoughts on Bison, TDK to Martin and Marshall? Yep, tick for me. Great trades, Golden Guys. Marco's got the trades tonight, but they're pretty close, mate. Getting Martin and Marshall. I know a few people are doing that combo, so I feel bad now for all the people that said those combos before and said that they were near trades of the night, because they're really good trades. You get Martin and Marshall. Yep, I like him. Reckon Boyd is safe as my loop from Cherry VC into Zorko. Yeah, I think so. I don't think Boyd will play. If Boyd plays, particularly for Sandringham on Sunday morning, you'll be fine, and you'll know that before Marshall plays. So, or before Boyd would be playing. Jordan Lane, you sure you don't want a VC Shees? Remember 2 weeks ago you went X VC over Sheasel. Yes, but there's talks of Sheasel playing more of a mid-forward role this week, which is a slight worry. Like, worry in terms of... No, sorry, not slight worry. It's meaning that I had Cherry and Sheasel very close together this week. I had Sheasel originally, but with the fact that Sheasel's not going to... It sounds like he might not play the half-back role. I would prefer Cherry against Richmond. He went 150 against Richmond last year. Still think Sheasel's a good option. I still got him at number 2. It's still a good matchup for mids, so I still think he's fine. But I'm just going Cherry ahead of him just. There's Dylan Moore again. Dylan Moore definitely looking a lot better tonight. And Oak, did you manage to fix up Oliver after TDK out? Yes, I did. Oak, yep. So TDK to Marshall and Oliver to Max Holmes is the trades I've gone for this week. That's what I'm looking at doing. There's Dylan Moore again. Dylan Moore said he's on 82. Is that not a free? That had to be a free kick against Noah Anderson. As much as I want to do well for Jordy and whoever's got him here, I thought that was a free against him. Oh, someone's down. Was that a head clash maybe? What injury did TDK have and how long is he out for, says Louise? Larynx injury, so throat injury. Pretty similar to what Gawn had earlier in the year. They're saying that he could be out for up to a week, but it could be maybe another week. You have to trade, though, regardless. Maltesing. I have Simpson forward and Lindsay mid. Also have a flexible team and can move Cleary, O'Sullivan, Sheasel, and Hewitt via utility. I'm assuming gets a Cleary from Bulldogs. I would still back Lindsay out of all those 3. I know he's been poor the last 2 weeks. I just think if you want a guy to get you a 60, I think out of those 3, he's the guy that's most likely going to get it. Not a great matchup, but I still think he's solid. And I know he's been poor the last 2 weeks, but before that he scored a 98 against Richmond, I know, and he was solid to start the year. He got, an 80-odd against GOS in the wet still. I'm not forgetting that. So I'd still back in Lindsay out of those guys, but yeah, it's tricky. By Salem or Rivers and Martin? Buy Salem or Rivers to Martin. Okay, one of the three. If you're trading one of the three, it's probably Bice, just because he's the rookie type player, whereas Salem and Rivers are a bit more expensive. Probably Bice, if not maybe Rivers. I'd probably Salem's the guy I'd like to keep out of the three, but I don't love any of the three, obviously. I think if Bice isn't sub tomorrow, which I don't expect him to be, but I think he actually can score quite well. Patton's been dropped, and that I think was a big reason why he scored poorly last week, so I think he'll go well. Newcomb 130 this week for sure, says Corey. Yep, he's going along nicely. Is he over 110 yet? He's on 105, but yeah, 25 points. 114, sorry, just adjusted there. So yeah, he's on track for a very, very good... There's another tackle there. I don't know if that's just been counted. But yeah, he's going along very well. See what I mean, though? This is a bigger game, and Newcomb's scoring well. Newcomb is the guy that easy matchups won't go well, but tough matchups, they're games where it's a tight game, he'll play well. It's just the type of player that we've seen from Newcomb since he's played. So, Louise Mason, do you think El Hawley will cop the vest? I think there is a big chance he will, yes. Looking at that bench, so I'll just bring it up here on my phone. But I know that, so the guys on the bench... where's Essendon and Bulldogs? Here it is. So on the bench for Essendon, you've got Ben Hobbs, Dylan Shield, Will Setterfield, Jaiden Laverde, and Sardell Hawley. Jaiden Laverde won't be sub. He's a key defender who's coming in for Lewis Hayes. He'll be fine. Dylan Shield was sub last week, and that was, I think, more management, so he'll be fine. Setterfield's been playing really well, so I don't think it'll be him. So it's down to Sardell Hawley and Ben Hobbs, and I think it'll be Sardell Hawley. It could be Hobbs, but I do think it'll be Sardell Hawley, looking at that. That's just my prediction. Looking at those. Stan Morris, is DeConing a trade over Oliver and Daniel? Yes, yeah. DeConing's must trade this week. Must trade. It's got to go. There's no cover. We got no cover for him. And if you're saying that you might have a Sims or like an Archery's not even playing this week, but if you've got like someone like that, no. Like there isn't a case where I'd say he's a hold. Like the only way is if you went a rookie to Vicentini, but even that, it doesn't work because Vicentini's got the same buys as TDK. The point with that would be if they had different buys. The only way, really, and I don't think many people got this, is if they had Luke Jackson in the forward line and they could hold TDK for a week, and if they played like a Cleary on field for a week, maybe you could do that. But even still, I'm trading. But Oliver also can go, Stan. So what I'm doing, Stan, this week is something I recommend you look at doing is going to Coning to a Marshall or a Cherry and then going Clayton Oliver out. I'm going to Coning to Marshall because I got Cherry, and then I'm going Oliver to Max Holmes. But if you don't have the cash to do that, you could go get a Peatling or someone like that. So I'd look at doing that. Is it worth staying on El Hawley with the vest risk or just going with Simpson? So what I would do is if Freo play and Simpson isn't the sub, because he plays first, I would just lock in Simpson. And if Sutherhoy's not the sub, you can bring him in next week. So probably both likely got about the same amount of cash this week. I do worry about Sutherhoy being the sub, so I would just go the guy that's not the sub first, and then you could go after Rosa, goal. So important goal for Gold Coast there, back to 15 points. Corey Badge, 915 metres gained for Noble could be 1k metres gained. Yeah, he's had a very good night for sure. Louise, are you doing any more watch songs this round? Yep, we got one tomorrow night for Sydney and Carlton, and then we probably got another one on Saturday night as well. So probably doing 3 this week. Whatever. So first week in a while where we've had 3, which is good. So should be more interesting tomorrow night and Saturday when I've got place in the game that I'm watching. But yeah, Noble's up to 108. Would have been a good buy. Would have been a good starting pick. Closes on 80. Got him in draft. I'm really happy with that. Moore's on 85 as well. Amon 18 points away from the ton. Hopefully you can get there for those people that have got him. Anderson's on 100 as well. Noble is on 108. Yeah, Anderson would be on a big score if it wasn't for just the 1 mark and 4 tackles. Newcomb on 114 as well is really solid. So yeah, make sure you guys keep smashing like on the video. We're still 32 away from 100. If we want to keep the streak going, we need 32 more likes. We've had 100 likes on a number of streams in a row. So if you haven't liked the stream yet, or you may have a second account or something like that, then make sure you smash like on the video so we can get to 100 again. We're pretty close. We got there last week just. It would be good if we did it earlier and I wouldn't have to stress about not getting 100, but we're nearly there. So if you guys can smash a like and help us out, that'd be fantastic. It takes 2 seconds and is a big help. So we very much appreciate if you can do that one. Charles needs to kick this goal here. 9.5 minutes to go, 15 points. They need to kick this to stay in touch because Gold Coast kicked a couple in a row. And a goal for Hawthorn, back to 9 points. So still got a game. I tipped Gold Coast by 10, so I'd be pretty happy if they won by 10, actually. Tim Hall, seems it was too good to be true for more to reward me. Why is that? He's on 85. Considering of what he's done, I think 85 is actually looking all right. He's had 16 touches. It'd be good if he was higher than that, but still, 85 is still solid. He's priced pretty cheap, so I know that obviously you've had him for a while, Tim, so you probably want him to go a bit more, but at the end of the day, if he can put up a solid score here, you'd be fairly happy. Just got another light there up to 69, so we're 31 away. So it'd be good if we can just get maybe 5 or 6, just quick likes, just bump it up in the 70s and get close to 100. So if you haven't liked it yet, please smash a like on the video. For the last 4 weeks, I need a 130 to restore faith, says Tim. That's fair, yeah, because he's been poor. That's fair. Can you bring Simpson in and play him on ground, says Baxter. I don't think you can bring him on ground, no. I wouldn't want to have him on ground against GWS. So I'd say no. You can bring him in, but not on field. Here's a handball from Amon out to Newcomb with a kick. Straight to Conor McDonald. Looks like Hawthorn have got a little bit of momentum here. Conor McDonald could almost go for home from there. And missed it. So back to 8 points. 8 minutes, 46 to go. Why does Will Power keep taking all the kick-ins? I don't think any of us really care about Will Power. We want John Noble or Dan Rioli taking kick-ins, not Will Power. Will Power would have to be one of the most inconsistent fantasy players going around. Like, he'll have a stretch of 2 or 3 games averaging 90, but then he'll score a 30. And you'd think with a guy that takes so many kick-ins, you'd think that he'd be more consistent. But there's Long, going long, and Swallow should have taken the mark. And Gold Coast fumbled that one a bit there. Really should have kicked a goal there. Still 9 points. Lockie Robbins, TDK to Max Gawn. Not for me. No. Cherry's number 1, Marshall number 2. Go for one of those two. He's priced at 120. He's so expensive. I just think that the cash saved is going to be more important moving forward for another upgrade. So I would be saying no to Max Gawn, as good as he's been. What are you up to? 70 likes. We're 30 away now from 100. So if you haven't liked it, please smash like on the video so we can get to 100 likes. That would be very much appreciated. We have a streak. Our streak so far, I don't even know how many Watchalongs it's been. It's actually been a lot. I think it's been since like round 3. We've had over 100 likes. So if we can continue the streak of that going, that'd be very much appreciated. So smash a like. Get another account in the second like. And if you want to do that, feel free if we can get to 100. It is hard, though, when we've only got, like, I guess, the 50 people watching. So it's like you've got to have people that have come in and liked it and then gone away. But still, considering I used to do this with only 5 people watching, I'm pretty happy and appreciate every single one of you guys that tune in every week. It's very much appreciated. So Massimo to get this back to a 3-point game. And he's pulled it too much. That'll be a behind. So still 8 points, trading behinds at the moment. 7 minutes to go. What have we got in terms of scores? Let's do a bit of a quick update. So Newcomb's on 117, Noble 111, Anderson's on 100. They're the 3 guys that have scored over the ton. There's Flanders, nothing there. Flanders is that guy that just runs around and doesn't do anything. Like, he just does nothing. Like, he doesn't get tackles. He barely marks. He might get 20 touches, if that. But, yeah, it's been disappointing. Bit of a very big fall from grace for Flanders this year. Baxter, can we expect a player to hit 200 this year, and who can? jeez, Ginnivan dropped for that one there. I don't know if that was a free kick. I don't know. I think it's pretty hard for players to hit 150 these days, let alone 200. Like, you don't see those guys getting 40 disposals anymore and having, like, filling every stat line. Like, I think Brayshaw had like a 180 recently. Zorko got a 180 last year. Hogan kicked like 9 or 10 goals and got a 180. I just don't know. It's very, very hard for a player to do that now. Like, only some of the best players in the history of the game. And there's Ginnivan with a goal, back to a 2-point game. Only some of the best players have done, like, you obviously Buddy Franklin's, Tom Rockcliffe. Tom Mitchell get a 200? I don't think Tom Mitchell got a 200 or not, but he got very close if he didn't. Nick Rewalt, and I got 200 on the dot at one time. Brent Stent got a 193, so he's pretty close. But, like, only the best players have got the 200. So I don't know if anyone can still hit 200. But guys like your Jordan Dawsons who hit every stat line. If there was a game like Josh Dunkley, if he got like 40 touches one day and had like 10 marks, 10 tackles, he would get pretty close. Guys like that. Or maybe someone, if they kicked 12 goals, maybe would be something. But it's very, very hard now. Stan Morris, would you VC Cherry Sheasel and Captain Marshall, or VC Dawson, Captain Cherry Sheasel? Well, I've got that Stan this week, and I'm doing VC Cherry into Marshall. So I did my captain video earlier today, and I did talk about that. But I've gone for Cherry VC into Marshall. That's what I'll be doing. There's Holman. Can he make up for the mistake he made before? If Toot can kick the goal, he has. There you go. Goal for goal. Gold Coast get the goal right back, and Holman made up for the high free kick he gave away. Yeah, Bont and Gorn is another 2 shouts. Yep, for sure. Zach Merritt's another shout that could do it. Sarong got 160 last year with 40 disposals. Yep, that's another one. Yep, but that was with 40. He'd need like 70 touches, I reckon, Sarong to get a 200. Gorn could if he got goals with a lot of hit-outs as double dummy. Yeah, there's a few guys like Tristan Sherry could get it. If he had like a game where he had 50-odd hit-outs, maybe 14 tackles and got like mid-20s touches maybe. So like guys like that could get it. But yeah, it is hard. Your captains have been good lately, going good in Captain's Challenge. Thank you, Corey. Yeah, captains are going well. That's one thing I've got right this year. Doing a bit more research, doing the captain's videos than what I have done in the past. Last week, I think was a bit of the exact numbers for me weren't correct, because in Captain's Challenge, I had me as Dunkley at number 2. Because I forgot to put Dacos in on the Thursday night, but I had Dacos at 2. So in Captain's Challenge, it looks better than what I've been doing. But last week I had Dacos at 2, not Dunkley. But yeah, I'm not sure if they've changed it or not, but yeah. Max is disappointed by Amon. Yeah, he's been quiet lately. 84. It's just the marks. He's had 27 touches, which is great. But it's just that he's had only the 2 marks, and being up in Darwin, that's, it's hard to take marks there. So I don't know what Josh Battle seems to be pretty disappointed, and he's been on the bench for a while, I think. So, interesting. Not sure what's going on there, but tackle for Humphrey. Warple, and then a peanut emoji says Henry V. Don't even know what he's on. Good defending from Andrew there. Rioli, good spin. Got the handball away. Ginnivan, that's a good tackle to take him down. There's a kick from Anderson. It's not a great kick, but it's actually going to work out. I never rated Ben Long. Ben Long was one guy I never rated. I was like, he's a spud. He shouldn't be playing. But to give him credit, he's having a good year, a very good year. And he's playing this forward role really well. I never rated him, but I think he's actually having a very good year. Stewart to Farrell. Stewart and Farrell to Amon. Stewart to Farrell to Amon might be the most underwhelming string of trades I've done. Oh, so yeah, okay, yeah. So you went Stewart to Farrell and then Farrell to Amon. Yeah, right. So you started Stewart and then you brought in Farrell, and then did you go to Amon in that game where he got concussed Oak? Because obviously that's very, very unfortunate. Goal for Ben Long. So Gold Coast get that lead back of 14. So 4 minutes to go. It's going to be a little bit tricky now for Hawthorn to to get in front, considering that there's only 4 minutes to go. But, yeah, Gold Coast got that good buffer, which is good. I tip Gold Coast, so it would be good to get them off to a win to start the round. What do we got? 72 likes. We're 28 away, so we've got maybe 3 or 4 likes lately. So I'm sort of starting to lose a bit of faith that we're going to get there. We're only 28 likes away, so if you haven't smashed like on the video yet, please do. If you guys have tuned in before, you know that we've got a streak going of 100+ likes on the streams. So if you guys can help us get to 100 again, that would be fantastic. Obviously, we've got 4 minutes of the quarter to go, and then I'll do a little bit after, and then that'll be it for the stream. So we haven't got that much longer left. So if you can smash a like to get us to 100, that'd be fantastic. That was well done by Fiorini there. Handball from Anderson, getting very close to that 110 mark. Good tackle by Fiorini. From Zach Reed to Amon that week was not good. That was not that good of a trade, says Corey. Yeah, that's unfortunate trading him. Up to 74, so we've got a couple. Appreciate that. 26 to go. Anderson handball. I believe that's the 110, I reckon. And that's exactly 110. No, 109, because he got the 2 handballs, sorry. So 109, he's right there at 110. There's a Jath with a kick. Big barrel. It's gone right to the middle of the ground. Andrew nearly marked there. I thought he might have got a free kick there, actually, but not to be. Sicily got a kick off the ground. If Hawthorn get a goal here, it would keep it open. And Chol, that's a goal. Game is still on. Back to 8 points. Nervous. I tip Gold Coast. I prefer Gold Coast to win. Amon, when he got concussed, yep, says like, yeah, that's very, very unfortunate. From Zach Reed to Amon. Oh, yeah, said it from Corey before. We've got 76 now. We're up to 24 away. 24 likes away from from the 100 like mark that we like to get to every stream. So please like the video if you haven't already, or like the stream, I should say. 24 away. So is there 24 legends out there that can smash like on the video? That would be very much appreciated. Anderson, loving him in Supercoach, 148 points. Yeah, wow. Big, big game from Anderson in Supercoach. So here we go. Pretty good trust from Gold Coast. They've got Bailey Humphrey in the CBAs when the game's on the line like this. So 3 minutes to go. Anderson, that kick won't count because it got smothered. And that's a ball up. 2 minutes 45 to go. Can Gold Coast hold on, or are Hawthorn going to come back and snatch the win? Anderson kick. That's 112 for Anderson. There's Long again. Really well done by Long. To Holman. Ah, it's a bad kick. Oh, dropped by Bailey McDonald. Not a great time to drop the ball. There's Weddle and Bailey McDonald. The 2 speedsters taken out of the back line. Josh Ward. Hawthorn building here. To Sicily. Scott, what's his name, running down the wing. If he just kicks it there. Wide open, and he went long. That's not a great kick, I don't think. Yulin couldn't punch it over the boundary line. Watson. Close, he's got to go, and he does. Mark, intercept mark. Minute 50 to go. That's a big mark, that one. If that was a mark for Hawthorn, would have been very much game on. Moore really slowed down this course, says JR. Yeah, agreed. Yeah, so it's probably not a must trade in next week. But he's looked better this week, which is good to see. There's Holman again. Had a couple of good moments since giving away that free kick to Ginnivan. Took Miller. Couldn't get past Scrimmy. Scrimmy's a good defender. There's Amon with a kick. That's 89 for Amon now. Oh, Moore was very close there. Watson, I hope they don't pay that high. Yeah, good. That was a tackle for Anderson. So that's 116 for Anderson, I believe, now as well. And mark to Long. If they get a mark inside 50, I'd go to, oh, I should have gone to Ainsworth. It's gone to King, though. No, should have gone to Ainsworth. That would have taken more time off the clock. Amon's up to 92 now with that kick. And kicked it straight to Closey. Or did it drop, touch the ground maybe? 43 seconds to go. At the back, Ainsworth. That's holding the ball. Dropped it. Weddle, good tackle. They need to get a goal here, though, Hawthorn. I think they're going to run out of time. This needs to be a goal from this passage of play if they're a chance. And McAndrew nearly a mark. I thought that might have been a free kick to Fiorini. But I think Gold Coast are home. We've got 15 seconds to go. Has to be a goal from Hawthorn right now, which I don't think they're going to get. Ginnivan's going to get a free kick from McAndrew for the ducking. Noble just hit 1k metres game with 36 touches. And there you go. Warple and Siren's gone. Gold Coast. It's a big win for Gold Coast against Hawthorn by 8 points. And there's some flurry of points there late for some of those players there. So there you go. Some good scores there. So we need 24 likes. So the game just finished. So if we get 24 likes, we'll be live for a tiny bit more as we go through the scores and some last minute questions and everything. But Gold Coast winners by 8 points. They extend their winning streak in Darwin, as it says on the screen there. 24 likes, please. If you legends out there can get it done, that would be fantastic. You did it last week, so let's try and get it done again. But scores from tonight, you got John Newcomb, 123, top scoring for the games. You've got him, be happy with that score from tonight. John Noble, 116, continues on his very good year. 36 dispels there, and as Corey said, 1,000 metres gained in the game. Noah Anderson, 116 was good. Good bounce back performance from him. 35 touches, only the 1 mark, but obviously in Darwin, there's not as many marks there. He is a good target moving forward, I reckon. And then they were the only 3 tons tonight. Then you had Rao, 99, Miller, 95, Ginnivan, 94, Amon, 92. 30 touches for Amon was good. Only the 2 marks and no tackles were the big reason why he didn't go bigger. But 92 is fine. I think you take that if you're an owner of him after missing a couple of weeks ago. Then you got Witsy, 89. There's a chance he gets rested next week, which would be good for people jumping on Marshall. Closey, 88, got him in draft. Dylan Moore, 87, really slowed down. I think he only had like a 20-odd point half, which was disappointing. Was hoping he'd go on with it to make him an option. I think he's still a solid option, but I probably want to see a little bit more. I don't think he's a must-get, but he's someone that is still on the radar. Rioli, 85, is solid. What have we got? Warple, 74, saved his score. I got him in draft. It was good that at least saved it a bit. Fiorini, 72 as well. Conor McDonald, 71. Sicily, 57. That's disappointing. Obviously, the matchup wasn't great in Darwin. Played 97% time on ground as well, but yeah, disappointing. Flanders, 47. Yeah, he's just been one of the biggest mysteries this year. He's just fallen completely off a cliff. Not great from him. Jath, only 34. That would be really disappointing if you jumped on him this week as a guy to make cash. He's not going to make much cash, and his break-even is going to shoot back up. And that's pretty much it from the scores. Obviously, I don't have anyone tonight. Not many people have got anyone. Some people got 1 player, but that's about it. So we're up to 77 likes as well now. So we're 23 away from 100. So if we can get that, that'd be fantastic. Do you think Sinclair will be a top 6 defender, says Lockie Robbins? He'll be close. He'll be close. He'll be top 10. I don't know if he'll be top 6. So I think you've got Whitfield, Sheasel, Nasiah. Whitfield, Sheasel, Nasiah. Just trying to think of the other defenders off the top of my head. Had a mental blank of who would be top 6. Let's have a look. Top 6 defenders. Let's have a look. So, yeah, as I said, you have Whitfield, Sheasel, Nasiah. You'd probably have Zorko in there as well. So that's probably 4. Then you've got like a mixture for... then Connor Rozee. Probably got to add him in. So that's 5. But then you've got the guys for that last spot that'll be there. So you got guys like Lockie Ash, Jack Sinclair, John Noble, Josh Dacos, Max Holmes, guys like that will probably be in the mix for that spot. So Sinclair's going to be right there. He's going to be right there for a top 6 defender. So 22 point second up from Moore is so unacceptable, says Tim Hall. Yeah, it's frustrating. We're up to 79 likes as well. 21 to go. If we can get those likes up, get to 100, that would be very much appreciated for the legends out there. Noble 940k next week, approximately 8-0 for the Suns in Darwin. I ended 3.4k at the end of the night, went up 1.5k with just Amon, says Corey, which is pretty solid. What did I go? I want to see what I went down with no one. So I went down about 1,300 spots, and that was having no one tonight. So, yeah, which isn't obviously too bad. Are you trading TDK, Bale, says Chris Hood? Yeah, I think TDK is a must trade. He's got to go. Like, no one's got cover for him. Or good cover at that anyway. So, yeah, he's got to go. TDK, and I'm going TDK to Marshall because I've got Cherry. But I think Cherry's the number one guy to get. Kalen 5, take a 116 VC from Anderson. Sad it could have been bigger if not for Finn, or go Cherry captain. I'm banking 116. Some people might say take it on for Cherry, but even if Cherry goes 130, you're losing 14 points. But if something happens to Cherry and he goes sub 100, you're losing more. So I'm banking the points. I'm always a bit safer. I normally go 110 is my line, but this is over 115. I think you take 116. It's almost a 120. I think you bank it. Because if Cherry goes 116, we'd say, yeah, that's pretty good. You take that. So I'd take it. I would have hated to have had Meek and TDK this week. Yeah, some people did, Corey. Yep. And yeah, it wouldn't be great if you had both. Be very, very frustrating. So we're still on 79 likes. We're 21 away. I'm starting to lose confidence we might not get there. We don't have as many watching, obviously, tonight with the game not being as fantasy relevant. So I wonder if we're not going to get there. But if you haven't smashed a like, we just need 21 more people to do it. So surely there's 21 legends out there that can just smash a like for us to get us to 100. So if you can do that, that'd be very much appreciated. Christian, don't have Oliver at the moment. How are you managing TDK out and other options like Lindsay, Daniel, and Bice, potential trade options? Yeah, so obviously, yeah, as I said, I've got Oliver at the moment. So I'm trading Oliver to Holmes and TDK to Marshall. Keeping Lindsay, Daniel, Bice. I think Daniel will be good this week if Sheasley's back up the grounds against Richmond. Bice is a 70s guy. I don't think he's a rush to trade out, so I think he's fine. And Lindsay, MA, I'm looping Lindsay with Cleary and Matt Carroll, so I can look the best of the three. So I get to look at those two scores and see what they do, and if I want to take them or play Lindsay. I'm just hopeful that Cleary or Carroll just go 70, 80 plus tomorrow, and I don't even have to worry about it. I'd probably take a 60 to be fair. If one of Cleary or Carroll goes 60, I'll take it. But if they both don't, I'll just play Lindsay on field. That's how I'll go. But Daniel probably will go for me next week, Christian. Like, ideally, I might go Caleb, Daniel, Philippi if he goes well, and then I'll go like a Lindsay up to a Miles Bergman, for example, or a Bice to a Bergman, or something like that. Jordan Tran, Bales trading Sheasel or Merritt this week? Well, I would have said Sheasel with the defender, but the fact that he might be playing more of that midfield role, forward role this week, it's got to be Merritt. Round 16 bye as well, I think ticks it into Merritt's favour. Merritt's got Dogs and then he goes Richmond. So I think it's Merritt. I think Merritt's the guy you get for the round 16 bye because there's not many players that we've got that have got that bye. So I would be going for Merritt, which last couple of weeks I would have definitely said Sheasel. And I still think Sheasel will be good. And if you get him in the mids, maybe it's good for flexibility. But I think with the round 16 bye, I think they're the same price essentially now. Yeah, Merritt's 1.07, it's like 10k difference. So I'd go Merritt. Bit more of a pod as well. So he's a pod, better buy, and got a good run. And you know what his role is. Christian was thinking Daniel and Oliver to Green and Filippo, or Lindsay and Oliver to Sado, Hawley and Tom Green. Is Lindsay on your bench, Christian? If Lindsay's on your bench, I'd go for the second one. But if Cooper Simpson's not the sub, I'd go Simpson instead of El Hawley. But I like the second option if Lindsay's on the bench. If Lindsay's on field, I wouldn't want to be fielding Sado Hawley, so I'd then go the first option. Alan Harrop, how has this happened? So many issues this season. I still have Sanders, unable to get rid of him thanks to TDK. Yeah, it's been a very bad season for a lot of people, Alan, for sure. Obviously, I've had a tough year as well. I've still got guys I don't want. Like, I've got Bice, Trainer, Levi, Ned Long, Xavier Lindsay, Caleb Daniel, and Ryan Marrick. And I'm not saying all of them bad. Like, Marrick, Long, Ashcroft are not problems at the moment. But I'd want all of them off field at some point. I've still got the amount of these guys on field. So I feel your pain, mate. I do. We can just take it 1 week at a time and try and get to a good squad. We're up to 84 now as well. We're 16 away from 100 likes. Our streak of 100 likes to keep it alive. So if you've got friends, if you've got a second account, if you haven't liked it yet, please smash a like to get us to 100. That's our goal every stream, and we're pretty close. Yeah, I'll stream for a tiny bit longer, but I've got to head off shortly. So if you guys can do that, that'd be fantastic. We're up to 88, actually. We just got 4 very quickly, so that's pretty good. So 12 more to go. If you guys can smash a like, that'd be fantastic. I actually do have to go very shortly. Yeah, so... Christian, cheers, mate. Your vids have been huge all year. Went from like 20k last year to 700 this year. Congrats, Christian. I'm really happy for you, mate. I'm glad that my advice is helping people. I'm not following my own advice, which is annoying. But I'm glad that it's helping. It's pretty much, what is it? Do as I say, not as I do. People are doing what I say, not what I'm doing, and people are being successful. So that's fantastic. I'm glad for you, Christian, and anyone else that's benefiting and having a good year. Who are your trades and captains, says Footy Frenzy. So my trades this week at the moment are TDK to Marshall and Oliver to Max Holmes. And then my captain, vice-captain, I'm going VC on Cherry into Marshall on debut with the captaincy. We're on 89 as well, so we're 11 away there. So if you haven't liked it yet, please smash like on the video. That would be fantastic. 11 more to go. Lockie Robbins, thoughts on TDK to Marshall and Daniel to Nick Martin? Yep, tick for me. Yep, for sure. Angus Heasley, how many rookies does everyone have on field? So I've got Lindsay, Ashcroft, Trainer, Bice on field. So I've got 4. I still don't really think of Bice as a rookie because he's a bit older. So I've really got 3. But if we're counting Bice, I've got 4. That's what I got. We're up to 90 as well. We're 10 away. Just 10 more to go in terms of likes. Thoughts about VC on Rosie? I don't love it this week. He's outside my top 10. I just think that Geelong will put some attention into him. So I wouldn't be doing it personally. I think there are better options this week. Obviously, I did my captain video early today, Footy Frenzy, going through my top 10 and some guys just outside. Yeah, if you want to give it a watch, feel free. I've put my captains in there. But yeah, Rosie's just outside the top 10 for me. I think he could still go well, but I'm just worried that Geelong will put like a Brad Close or someone on him. We're up to 91 likes as well. We're creeping very, very close to 100. So we're very, very close. Make sure you smash a like. What else we got? Double dummy says too many rookies. Yep, yeah, that's for a lot of teams, I think, at the moment still. Who's your best VC not on Sunday? Let me have a look at my top 10. I can give you that. If you're on chat video, I've got the whole top 10 there for you. But my top option that doesn't play Sunday, so it's Sunday. My top option that doesn't play on Sunday is Tim English at number 5. My top 4 all play Sunday. But funny enough, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 5 through 9 all play on Saturday. So a lot of options on the Saturday. But yeah, 1 through 4 and then number 10 all play Sunday. So okay, we'll check it out. All good, Footy Frenzy. Yep, hopefully you enjoy it, mate. Still 91 likes. Is there 9 legends out there that can help us get this done? I actually have to go very shortly. I don't want to say I'm going to be here until we get 100. I would like to be here until we get 100, but I do have to go probably in about 5 minutes or so. So I've got about 5 minutes to get 9 more likes. We just got 1 there, so we need 8 more. We're on 92. Any backup accounts? Anyone's got that? Wants to get us to 100? That'd be fantastic. Did we see enough from Moore, or was that score due to the matchup? I think we saw enough from Dylan Moore, but you don't have to get him next week. I think we saw enough because he was on 60-odd at halftime. The old Dylan Moore that I've known to remember was back. Just had a really quiet second half. But if you look at his stats, he only had 4 marks. He had 5 tackles, which is good, but normally he can get more marks. They're only 17 touches. High game time as well, which is obviously promising that he's over whatever niggle he had the other week. So I probably want to see a little bit more, but I think you can start looking at him again. We're up to 93, so we're 7 away now. Only 7 more to go. 7 more likes, please. Anyone out there? Tony Ford, got X, Marshall, Shees, Dunkley, Dawson, Dacos, Green, Baz, Sport for choice for captains. I've got how many? I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those guys. So, yeah, there's a few good options this week. We're up to 95, so we're only 5 away. Only 5 away. We are very, very, very close. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those guys in my top 10, Tony. So you're looking pretty good with those. The only guys I don't have in my top 10 is Dacos, Green. Yeah, just those 2. But I think both of them can still go well regardless. So, yep, I think you're in a good spot, Tony. Double dummy, would Bailey Smith be a sneaky VC if you were desperate for a Saturday VC? Yep. He's in my top 10. So he's definitely an option you could look at. He's at number 9. The Port matchup at Adelaide Oval scares me a little bit. But as the number 1 averaging player in the game, I think he's got to be someone you've got to look at. I think there are better options this week, but he's certainly there. Hawks a tough few weeks coming up. Look at Dylan more after that. Yeah, I guess he's cheap, right? If you get a rookie to him, if he's the best you can get, I don't mind it. Up to 95 as well, so only 5 away. Only 5 more likes to get to the 100 again, and then I will probably head off at that point. Anderson has played better this year, everywhere compared to just at home. He has thrived as captain. Yeah, Corey, that's what I was talking about earlier in the preseason. I think that he could thrive as captain. He's been lower the last few weeks. He just isn't getting those marks and tackles. I think tonight was more due to being in Darwin, but the next few weeks does open up for him. So we're up to 97 as well. So only 3 away from 100 likes, which is absolutely fantastic. So Noah Anderson, it's his first ton in 4 weeks. His last one was in round 6 against Richmond. He hasn't had a ceiling this year. Like he's 1, 2, 3. His 4 tons were 117, 117, 110, 116. So he hasn't gone on with it. And his lower scores, Adelaide where he got 92, North he got 94, 78 against Sydney with a Jordan tag, 81 against Brisbane, 82 against the Dogs at TIO. I think it'll start opening up for him post the bye. He now goes Saints, Freo and Geelong, and then the bye. So I think he can start getting going. And he'll go down slightly, so he'll be under 950, which I think is unders for what I think Noah Anderson can do. I think he's a guy that can really finish off the year quite well. So if you're looking at him, I think he is a potential option for you. We are at 97. We just need 3 more people out there to like it. And we've hit our goal once again. Aham77, forgot you were on tonight. Hopefully you had a good watch long. I had Anderson tonight. Did you have anyone Bales? No, not for me tonight. No one for me. So it's a bit relaxing. Could just sit back and relax. I was watching like Anderson and Noble and Amon and Moore and guys like that. So it's good to see a few guys go well. Anderson and Dylan Moore being potential options for me in the next couple of weeks, which is good. But yeah, he was very good tonight. Probably could have been a little bit more, but Finn went a little bit to him in the second half to keep that score a little bit lower. But 116, be pretty happy with. If you've got him VC, you probably take it. I probably would think strongly about it. So, Anderson, good pod, only 4% ownership. Yeah, no, he's not highly owned at all. I know Jordy, obviously one of our fanatics, has got him in his team, so he's very happy with that. There, I believe, if I look at the top 50, he may have even been in. He may be inside of the top 50 because he's got him. Is he? No, not quite. He'd be pretty close though to top 100. Did Vams have anyone tonight? Don't think so. No, I like keeping an eye on Vams. Obviously, friend of the show. Anyone else up there that I know? Don't think so. No one else there that I know personally. Still 97. Is there 3 more people? We've slowed right down. I thought we were going to get there for a second, but we're on 97. Anyone out there that hasn't liked it yet? We just need 3 more people to do it. That'd be fantastic if you guys haven't done it yet and could help us get that goal. We just need 3 more. Anderson or Noble for me next week, as Daniel can go to one of them, as I've got Martin in defence, will be handy. Yep, agreed. Yep, that could be a good move for sure. Anderson for me is probably my top one at the moment, just because he's very cheap in the midfield. I'll look at him. Bradley Smith, the Forster Koning trade has thrown planned trades out the window. Going to miss Green this week. Yeah, that's unfortunate, Brad, but a lot of people were affected by it, unfortunately. But then again, if you're having a good year, you probably dodged this one. So, Hum77 had Anderson all year, been up and down, but overall can't complain too much. Yeah, he hasn't turned up as much as what I probably would want him to, but I think he's still a good option for non-owners to look at. We're on 99 likes. We need just one more like to get to the 100. So if one more person out there, please, if they can help us out. So Matt Rao had a 70-point second half. Did he really? Yeah, right. Massive second half from Matt Rao there. Managed to get X this week, which is a plus, says Chris. Yep, good get, Tristan Sherry. I'll be very happy getting him this week. I think he's a really, really good option if you don't have him. How's everyone's benches looking? How many red dots have we got? And I'm including purple dots as well. I've currently got 3, and I expect it to be 4. So I've got, or it could be 5 actually. So I've got Buslinger, I've got Stone, I've got Hasty, and then you've got Boxall and Boyd, who are there as yellow dots at the moment, but I do expect both to be purple dots tomorrow. Maybe Boxall is safe, and maybe he might even be a pink dot, so which should be even worse. So, yeah, what's people's benches looking like? Yes, there we go. We hit the 100. Thank you very much, people. 101 likes. I didn't think, again, we were going to get there, but we got there in the end. Very much appreciate it there. So, hopefully we can have I think the next goal that I'm looking for now, well, we just had someone unlike it, so we're back down to 100, thankfully, but whoever that person is that liked it, then unliked it, not really a legend, I don't think, unfortunately, but but appreciate the 100 that have liked it. Very much appreciate every single one of yous. I think the next goal I want is to get over 100 people watching at once. I don't know, I think we had it at one point earlier this year, but maybe getting 100 for like a big portion of the Watchalong. So if people want to help maybe reach that goal at some point, then feel free. So someone did just like it again. I don't know if that was the same person or not, but if it is, then they're a legend again. What do we got? Liked on my 3 other accounts, says Tony. Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it, mate, to get the 100 there. I have 5. Looking to do a triple downgrade at round 12 by, says Chris. 5 with Boxall and Boyd also. 5 red dots for Corey. Stone, Allen, Boyd, Armstrong, Gross. I think Gross will play double dummy, so I think he's fine. So I think you've got 4. 3 red dots, Hayes, Buslinger, and Davis. Definitely could, says Golden Guys. 100 likes. Small thank you for best content crowd that puts in a massive time. Thank you, Bales. Says thank you, Bradley. Thank you, mate. Very much appreciate it. Yeah, so what have I got? I got 1, 2, 3. I'm going to say 4 at the moment, but it could be 5 if Boxall's out. So yeah, not great time through our benches. But yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, I've got to head off now. I've got to obviously have some dinner. Got to do a couple of things as well. So, but yeah, appreciate everyone that tuned in as well. You guys are legends again to get us to 100 likes. We've got a few people watching. Everyone tune in tomorrow night. We've got another watch along tomorrow for Sydney and Carlton. Should be a better fantasy game, I think, for a lot more people. Hopefully we can get over 100 people watching at once. That's, I guess, the next sort of little mini goal to get. I think we had it at the start of the year, but with a few weeks off, I think a few people probably either forgot the watch longs are on or are busy or whatever. But we're on tomorrow night and Saturday night, along with our pre-lockout chat tomorrow. So hopes to see a heap of you legends in the pre-lockout chat tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Perth time. And then I'll be live for the Sydney Carlton watch along at around 7:30 Eastern, so 10 minutes before the game starts. So I could do a couple of last-minute questions there, but obviously we'll be live just before. So hope to see a heap more of you legends there tomorrow. On your bales. Thank you, Chris. Hope you have some players enjoy your anger and passion, says Bradley Smith. I hope not. So tomorrow night, I believe I've only got Roberts and Bice. Yeah, they're the only 2 I've got tomorrow. But I've also got Carroll and Cleary who I'm looping. And I can take either best score. So I'm looping between Lindsay, Carroll, and Cleary tomorrow. Because I've got Hasty and Stone. And Hasty's in my utility. So it's really good. I can loop all 3, get the best score. So hopefully get a 60 plus from someone tomorrow. If it can be even more than that, that would be even better. But I'll probably take a 60 from one of those guys if they go that tomorrow. And I guess we'll see how we go. But as I said, appreciate you legends for tuning in. Hope to see a heap more of you tomorrow night so we can keep building that watch-along community to get maybe 100 people watching tomorrow night or in a few weeks or whatever. But appreciate everyone that tunes in all the time. Very much appreciate it. Thanks for all support. If you want a team review tonight or anything like that, then head to the Patreon, patreon.com/AFL Fantasy Fanatics. I'll review your team tonight through Ask Me on Q. All Patreon members get that for free. Along with the Patreon exclusive Q&As and everything like that. So a heap of bonus content in there. If you want to become Patreon, please do. Shout out to Stu, who became a Patreon tonight. Got notifications, so thank you for that. If you'd like a shout out, then become Patreon. You get a little mini shout out as well there. So thank you to Stu, and thank you everyone for tuning in again as always. And we'll catch you guys tomorrow for our pre-lockout chat and for our watch along tomorrow. So thanks everyone. Catch you tomorrow night. See ya.